All right. Hi, good evening, everyone. Assalamualaikum. Welcome on board. My name is Hajar, and I will become your host for today. Okay, so first, I would like to check in first. Is it my voice loud and clear? So if yes, please give me emoticons so that I know the technical part is doing good. Or put something in the chat. Okay. All right. Amazing. I received good thumbs up here. Okay, cool. So welcome to Deal or Grill. So are you guys excited for tonight? We have seriously an amazing discussion for tonight. So for those you guys who watch this session throughout the social media, YouTube, Facebook, IG, or TikTok, so you guys are welcome on board to watch our Zoom session for tonight because so I'm going to read basically three housekeeping rules for tonight. Okay, so first, number one, basically there will be no recording given. So if you guys want to watch this session again, you guys can go to our YouTube channel later on. Okay, that's number one. Number two is that basically jangan ada perkenalan diri atau menjual sesuatu di dalam chat. Alright, so if we find out that you guys did that, so probably you guys will be kicked out throughout the Zoom. So we don't want that to happen. Okay, and then last but not least, if you guys have Q&A, basically if you guys have question, so please put your question in the Q&A box below. Okay, so please avoid to put your question in the chat because it's strictly for engagement. All right, so are you guys ready for tonight? Because okay, for tonight we have 5 properties that we are going to discuss for tonight. So first one, we will discuss about Agile Bukit Bintang, and then we are going to discuss also about Nexus Taman Pertama, Kingswood Bukit Jalil, Skies Maluri KL, and also last but is Atera Petaling Jaya. So on top of that, we also have like amazing panelists for tonight. So we have Faizul Ridzuan, Iherng, Albee, Zakri, and also William. So with that, are you guys excited for tonight? So please give me emoticon so that I can welcome on board to our CEO, Faizul Ridzuan, for tonight. Boss, are you ready? Wow, amazing reaction for tonight. Love, good.
Hello, everyone.
Masih lagi kongsi facai punya.
Yes, of course. It is, in the first 7 days of the year, right? So,
Wah.
still part of it. So, Assalamualaikum. A very good evening, everyone. I'm dialing in from Bandung. I'm in Indonesia doing the work. Because, well, it's Chinese New Year dekat Malaysia. No one goes for meeting, all right, during Chinese New Year week and the week after that. So, yeah, very excited to do our second deal or grill for tonight. And in fact, I think tonight session will actually be better, in fact, much better than the first one. Let's go through the slides. Very quickly, I'll do a quick introduction before Zach and Albee take over and discussing a couple of the properties that we're basically discussing for tonight, right? So straightforward. While we're doing this, we are trying to provide different independent POV for those looking to buy investment property or own stay property. Okay, we're hoping that the data kita akan present tonight, okay, will be useful, can provide you an independent guide for anyone looking to buy. And we are also looking to uncover incorrect facts used to sell property. So basically, sometimes developer or property agents are not very, very honest. And tonight, again, we will uncover BS when it comes to USP. So when you come to Deal or Grill, you are essentially getting a shortcut of what's the real version of that property. Can buy, cannot buy. Okay, guys, either for investment or even for own stay. So that's the reason why we are doing Deal or Grill. So these are the 5 properties that will be reviewed tonight. The first property will be Agile Bukit Bintang. Second will be Nexus Taman Pertama. The third one will be Kingswoodz. Number 4, Skies Maluri. Number 5 is going to be Atera at Petaling Jaya. So how do we pick this 5 property? We just pick the hottest property that is either we see on advertisement or what is being discussed. right? So if the property has been fully sold, no one discuss about it, it's not gonna make it to deal agreed, right? So whatever which is hot, we are trying to bring it over so that you guys can get the fastest full POV lah, because naturally the agent or the property developer not gonna tell you the full truth, right? Like one of the property that we are, in fact, I think we have two properties that we're discussing today that is actually quite close proximity, yeah, to a cemetery, right? So basically, the agents won't go and tell you that, we will tell you that. Okay, so these are going to be the 5 properties that is going to be reviewed tonight, and we are actually going to get all of the panelists tonight to basically rate it from our own stay point of view as far as investment point of view. So that means whenever we rate a property, you guys get to see from a POV of investment, can it make it? And from a POV of own stay, what does the panelist think about it? So I think you're gonna have a bit of balance in terms of, you know, where the property is at lah. So, and we're gonna basically give, right, a couple of official stuff. That one is basically coming from me, and essentially it's a representation of Far Capital. Okay, so and if you have any questions, guys, so I want to remind everyone, if you have any questions, right, which I already have, I can see now, right, please put it in Q&A. Don't ask in chat. Chat, well, again, it's for chatting lah, right? I see people raising hand and all of that. Okay, please put your questions in Q&A, and then we can answer the questions that you have for tonight. Some related to the property ke, investment philosophy ke, just ask during the Q&A, and then we're gonna cover your question. Myself or my team will cover your question. Is that okay, guys? So that's the only cooperation I need, right? So you know, if you have any questions, please put it in Q&A, right? So I think without further ado, right, I'm gonna quickly introduce the panelists, right? If you can bring all of the panelists now, we can do a quick introduction, and then we can move straight to our deal or grill, right? So tonight we have is it 4 or 5 people? Oh, okay, Sean is here, right? I was wondering whether Sean is going to be here or not, because it is CNY lah, so it's very understandable, right?
恭喜发财
Hey, 恭喜发财，恭喜恭喜 right? So you see the level of commitment at us here, right? So even during Chinese New Year holidays, we are here, right? Albee is here doing the slide throughout the whole week. William is here, Sean is here, me and Zakri, obviously the non-Chinese here, right? But you know, I have to give credit lah to Albee, William, and Sean for making it, you know, because you know a lot of this property as of today, in a way, is located in quite Chinese centric. So I think the POV of you know, for our Chinese you know, panelists, I think will be very highly critical, right? So with that, okay, we'll move to the first property. I'm hoping that we can really do the deal or grill, you know, in less than 1 hour and 15 minutes, and after that we move to Q&A. Right, so last time I used to say 1 hour, never happened. So we try to do 1 hour 20 minutes.
Okay, happy Chinese New Year, everyone. So we go with the Nexus Taman Pertama. So I think for this area, maybe it's more Chinese-centric, more towards Cheras area. There's more population towards Chinese lah. So going to next slide. So when I actually call out for this Nexus Taman Pertama, agents was telling me, they just mentioned a few points only, more towards their matured commercial areas, Kawo way to MRT, also 3 station way to TRX. The only comparison they are taking it as a TOD development is M Vertica. So they are comparing that M Vertica have a higher, like quite a good occupancy, even though they are higher in density. So Nexus that is actually lower in density, also freehold. And in terms of rental, so they also compare to M Vertica because they are considered of a walking distance towards MRT station, right? So they say M Vertica was doing pretty good because of TRX as well. So they are projecting this Nexus will be doing great as well because of the connectivity towards these MRT stations. And they have their cover way already been done. So on the next slide, something that actually most of the agent won't really mention is actually, I think would be a bit downside, especially for Chinese or even for this locality lah. the point is next to cemetery. So actually it's can't be seen like directly next to it. It's just further front a bit, but depending on your flooring and phasing, some of it will still see the cemetery. And actually it's not a small ice. It's quite big. I think this is quite concerning, especially in this area where we have more populations of Chinese. Probably maybe for investment, people say, or rental goods, you can rent because it's TOD. But in terms of the future of the exit plan, I will put it in a question mark lah. Especially when it's next to cemetery and especially for this location where population is more towards Chinese. Okay, so on the next slide will be on the details of the particular development. So they come with two layout, two bedroom and so 3 bedroom. So 3 bedroom have two sizes lah. So you guys can just screenshot it. The next net per square feet is about 590 per square feet. They have sky gym, just something to highlight on here. Okay, on the next slide will be in terms of the own stay, how we actually rate it. So we actually rate it in terms of the accessibility, amenities around, public transport, long-term livability lah. So in terms of the amenities wise, primary school has 3, secondary school 2, college, university, they actually cover until velocity area lah. So it's for me, not really that close, but we still within the vicinity of 5 km. So I just take it in lah. So in terms of the long-term livability, I think near to school, near to medical centers, near to grocery, because there's just shop lots right below. So I guess it's still quite good for own stay, especially those working in KL and they don't want to drive, but they wanted to take MRT. They have covered way to this MRT Taman Pertama. So I think it's quite all right for this one. In terms of their mortgage wise, right? So the smallest layer is actually sold out, but it's around close to 2,000 per month. So if you're going for big sizes as an own stay purpose, the bigger size will actually cost about 2,006. The other size, 880 square feet, is close to 2,300 per month lah. So just take note a bit of this number because we are going to comparing to the rental, especially when looking at about for the investment value. So to see whether it's able to cover about 80 to 70% of your mortgage or even maintenance fee or giving you positive cash flow. I guess this is what investors are looking for lah. So moving to the next slide is more towards a investment value that we're looking at. So this Taman Pertama area actually slightly further from what we know as the Cheras KL Maluri area where we have velocity area lah. So it's slightly further away. So the medians for this area is about close to 595 per square feet. The new one that's being transacted as J Dupian, but there's only 2 transactions. This is from non-developer transaction. So this is a real sub-sale. So it's transacted about close to 680 per square feet. The old one, close comparison I take in is Lido, is about 510 per square feet. There's other Pertama residency, but it's quite old already. So, and also the size-wise is only 1 bedroom, so I did not take into considerations. So tier 1 is tier 2. Supplies-wise, I taking those claim as TOD in this Cheras area is Maxim Horizon is about 1,002. Somewhere Alisan is close to 245 units lah. Boosters wise is DRX, which I put in a question mark because in distance wise it's slightly further, but in terms of accessibility to MRT, yes, I would say still accessible because just 3 stations away. Maturity point, I think is semi-matured, but still there's no mega development nearby, and because there's large plot of land, but mainly is owned by the cemetery lah. So I think it's semi-matured towards matured. MRO is whole unit or co-living. There's no proportion for Airbnb for this one. So rental wise, take into considerations J Dupian. So 2 bedroom is about 2,000 to 2,003. 3 bedroom is 2,005 to 2,008. So if you're taking the most latest completion, so you're looking at the J Dupian 3 bedroom for the small layout comparing to this Nexus, I think the rental would be a bit comparable. So maybe you can cover part of your mortgage for 90%. So Lidl's wise actually lower. 2 bedroom is about 1,008 to 2,000, 3 bedroom is 2,001 to 2,005 lah. So might suffer from negative cash flow if there's a flush of supply of TOD in this Cheras area. So that's my opinion lah for is rental in terms of the investment value. Let's bring out our panelists. Is it a deal or a grill for your own stand investment? Okay.
Hey, Albee, I think you should really also share what was your experience speaking to the agents, right? When you approached them about this project. You know, were
Oh,
they
yeah.
excited to sell you this project, or were they actually, try to
Yeah.
bait and switch you? Yeah.
Yeah, about this project, right? Actually, I contacted a few agents. There actually not much agent who wanted to reply me because of, and I tried to ask few. They actually asked me, do you want considering something others or that completions nearer? They're actually not trying to promote me. I'm not sure because of me is a Chinese and this is due to close to cemetery, because maybe they think of Chinese ma quite pantang. They don't want this close to cemetery. They just don't want to waste their time to promote this, even though this is, I think, is close to completions. Even though they say Antarctica is doing so good, this is TOD, this will do good as well. But if looking as I already told him that looking for an investment purpose is not a own stay purpose. So own stay, of course, if you really look at this cemetery, maybe you a bit don't like. Maybe if you investment wise, in terms of looking at rental, maybe is something to be go lah. But they just quite reluctant in replying me and promote me. They asked me, "Can you want to look something else?" Actually, quite a few lists for you to look. So I was like, I just wanted to know because I want to know what's the price, what's the rebate. Yeah, even though they come with cashback, but not to disclose because some of banker maybe is here. So yeah, maybe if you guys want to find out, maybe can also contact this some
So
of the
they're
agents.
actually quite reluctant to sell you this.
Yeah,
They actually ask
yeah,
you
quite
whether you
reluctant.
consider something else.
Yes.
Very,
So I was
very,
like,
very, very interesting experience.
I was like, what do you want to tell me? Like, if like someone to, this is like maybe close to cemetery, if something like people really interested and ask you whether you still have listing of this unit, of course, people will be like excited to share. Okay, I have this kind of stuff, like still of some of the units. Like they, even want to do the viewing with me. I was like, okay, then we just do online consultation. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
All
I
right.
can bring you to other property. I was like, okay.
So they're very excited to move you to another property, but not sell
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, okay.
Why?
I also don't know. I was like, because actually I texted
Agent,
about
the commission low, is it?
I also don't know. 3 to 4 agent. Only one agent reply me, it's about close to 2 weeks I texted, I actually quite a few listing can see from property guru as well. But yeah, I don't know they ghost me or or why, but
Or people know you are from Far Capital already.
but I didn't use my photo lah.
And you
also
grew
my
many
name
times
lah.
already, many agents
Oh.
before already, so they don't want to
Oh.
reply you at all.
But I didn't
Blacklisted
text
already. Welcome to the
agent
club.
lah. Probably also. Probably also. Also not the same agent lah.
But
Maybe after today.
but here's the thing, right? So I think one thing it could be because of Chinese New Year lah,
Yeah.
right? So if the agent is Chinese, and naturally, understandably, it is holiday. Some people got pantang, they don't work, right? Before certain days of after post Chinese New Year lah. So it could be that. Right. But what is interesting for me here is the experience of
So big
the one who reply does not even want to sell this property. Would you like to look at something else? Which to me is just bizarre, right? So I don't think it happens very often. But like I said, I thought Albee should share the experience for the audience. So even the agents basically don't believe in the product.
I think the developer should know also.
Huh?
The developer
also
should
don't
know
know
this
why
feedback
you do
also.
this
I
to me.
waste money, right? Then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
siphon out my leads to other projects. What the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah. Right. So okay. Anyhow, William, deal or grill? Own stay versus investment.
Actually, on stay, I check the layout lah. Kalau I'm a single person or have just a girlfriend, like no family, I think boleh lah. Just check out the layout. To be honest, I think next to cemetery, right? Actually not all Chinese rejected lah. Like my first property dekat Unio Kepong, actually is literally next to a cemetery as well, but it's also sold out. And I think most, if not all, Chinese stay there actually, right? They don't even care. So yeah, I really don't think it's a big issue. Just need to find the right person to buy it lah, and to stay there. I think the plus is the connectivity. Of course, along the route, there's so many options to choose. Like inside Maluri, there's already a ton of them. So to be honest, if I were to stay in just Taman Pertama, I think I'll prefer Alishan. Alishan good. Somewhere Alishan, I think that one I checked out before. Quite nice lah for own stay. This one is more on like I said lah, for single or fresh grad people lah. The layout for two better. Macam okay lah. Next to MRT semua tu. So own stay, I think not really deal but grill lah, I think. Because the market quite niche good for those yang mau stay there. And
Alright.
you have better option in Maluri.
Understand?
Mm.
Zakri? The non-Chinese. Let's see.
For on stay, I think macam yes, but not as per today's price ah.
Okay.
One because of dia sebelah graveyard, so I want lesser premium. Sebab apart from that, I think quite decent on the development itself. I mean it's Nexus punya decent lah, right? Location wise also not too bad. Taman Pertama near KL already lah. For investment, kinda yes, but also not as per today's price. Also, I will demand 15 to 20% maybe lower than today's asking.
Right.
With the consideration of existing
Median.
existing median, as well as the future potentially less premium on the rental, right? Due to the graveyard punya consideration. So yes, if investment okay, if I enter 15 to 20% lower.
Bumi discount.
Plus is a TOD punya development lah. So that's why I'm okay with investment.
Interestingly, I think William just shared, right? He owns a unit next to a Chinese cemetery too, right? And that unit is in Kepong, whereby it's predominantly Chinese area, predominantly Chinese buyer and tenants too. And today, because it has got, well, by far the nicest facilities in the whole of Kepong, all the way, I would say, to even Sri Damansara. Rental for two bedroom today is already close to 3,000. Right, despite being
Actually got 3K highest.
Huh?
Got
3K, is it?
transacted. Yeah. I mean, not many, but a few lah. Got 3K,
Yeah.
two bedrooms.
Right. So I think there's a comment that basically says modern days generation don't believe in ghosts anymore lah. So yeah, I think there's some relevance to that lah. Albee, what about yourself?
I think I will deal for investment but with less premium of the prices to be paid lah. Because looking at the median of the area, so if I'm buying at today at net lah, so net is after considering after taking the cashback, the rebates. So I'm just buying at the median, I'm not buying something below the median. So but the rentals justified for the 3-bedroom to be good. So investment value would be better if the prices is like what Zakri say, a bit 15 to 20% below the median, then I think would be a good deal for investment, because investment is purely about number. But about own stay, I won't because I'll preferably more towards Maluri area, because in terms of number of schools, connectivity towards malls, I think that area will be slightly better. Even though this is direct TOD lah, but I still prefer Maluri area with these prices that I'm looking at to in. So for own stay, I think it's a grill. No.
Okay.
And also because of, I'm Chinese lah, so just beside a large piece of cemetery, I think
You
for
say
own
like that, I
stay,
don't know how to answer later. Like I'm not Chinese.
own stay, so I don't think, but investment I will look investment is okay. Own stay maybe not really, because own stay is like maybe you stay for quite some time. Investment you just run it out. Based on money, values, numbers they're looking at. That's my concern lah. So no.
Sean?
I visited J2Pion before. So I think it's right opposite. And that area, it's very, very close to the Sri Permaisuri area. So within Sri Permaisuri, 5 minutes drive away, you get way cheaper prices. And within Sri Permaisuri, you have a lot of government sector buildings. So the density is very, very comfortable. And there's a saying also, the whole density is controlled by a certain authority lah. So that's why it's maintained that way. So I think for own stay wise, I would pay less for permaisuri area, but yet not compromising the commercial activities. Because in permaisuri area, you have a very, very busy commercial area. All the first fast food joints are all there on like so I think it's a scene by itself. I want to go and make video actually. But then from investment, definitely. And I think sometimes when you guys are in the same company for too long, right? You guys get easily access to all the great deals. For normal folks outside, right? I think this is one of the better ones already. So these are one of the better ones within the market. If you get I like the 2-bedroom unit better, because the 3-bedroom one, it's like a vertical type. The first bedroom on the next to the entrance, right? I always hate layouts like that, but they just want to shrink more units within the same floor plate, so can understand. But based on numbers, I think can work one, because it's also very close to, it's the same road to Maluri, ma. It's really the same road. Then cemetery or not, I think developer has already priced in lah. So if it's not cemetery, right, I don't think it's this price lah.
For sure.
So I think based compared to Dupion, I think this one is more conventional. I like the 2-bedroom unit. So if own stay, I will stay for my suite. If investment, I will get one actually.
So deal for investment lah.
Deal for investment.
Okay. Right. Well, if we go to the next slide, that will be my verdict, right? I'm actually quite neutral. I think Sean made a very good point. If you are trying to buy freehold property with some level of rooftop facility and less than 1,000 units, all in all from a density point of view, and it's a proper TOD, right? For less than, right, 650 per square foot today is very, very hard. Right? So we're quite neutral. I also echo Zakri's point, whereby as of today, it's a pretty safe deal at 590, 600 ringgit per square foot. You're basically buying at median. Yeah, you are getting a newer property with way better facilities. I think if I recall correctly, the rooftop should be able to go and see the whole KLCC Center skyline. So it'll be quite good. Facilities wise, nothing to shout about, but as average, it's pretty decent, right? I mean, Sean made a very good point. It's already well priced with cemetery. The other thing here is that we don't really care. If you are buying at a cheaper price point versus peers, then cemetery is a non-issue. All right, cemetery is a non-issue. Right, there's a couple of properties in TTDI next to cemetery doing very well today, above 1,000 per square foot. There are properties dekat KL60, Kampung Baru, all facing cemetery, still doing at about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So far, cemetery has not been a detrimental point. And of course, you've heard the story from William. You've got a 820 square foot, right, for dua bilik, right? 866, right? Renting for about 3,000 ringgit per month, right? So that translates to roughly about what? 3+ ringgit per square foot, right? Above 3 ringgit and 50 cents per square foot lah. So this one walkable to MRT, freehold, a decent size. We think it's quite neutral lah, right? Obviously, I think at a 10% cheaper, the investment verdict becomes a 4-star compared to today. So below 550 per square foot, then becomes, in my opinion, is a steal. Right? Simply because M Vertica, if you look at it as of today, is closer to 600 ringgit per square foot. Even at a special price point, is closer to 600 ringgit per square foot. And from a density point of view, notwithstanding it's being leasehold, density point of view is just way higher lah. So this one located really near to MRT, I think should not be cheaper for M Vertica. Right, so freehold, low density, but got graveyard versus Amvertica, whereby, very nice facility, but very high density, right? So price point wise, it should be somewhere along the line of Amvertica. So that's my verdict lah. Let's go for the second one.
So next is Skies Maluri. Just open for pre-launch. Baru sangat-sangat. And the location is just opposite on the Sawi Medical Center Velocity, right? Access through Jalan Ceras. Okay, so first, how do agent outside portray disguise from their marketing POV? So let's see on the first one. Agent mentioned about ROI up to 8%, right? The best option for investors, right? So if you want to know, is that true? We go right after this, okay? And next is located on a prime location. Easy access to more hospital and offices. So roughly we can say yes. It's just next to them. Okay, sebelah saja Sunway Velocity punya mall and also hospital lah, right? Next, about the public transport connectivity, they claim up to 5 stations, MRT, LRT nearby, right? Based on our observation, only MRT and LRT Maluri stations yang walking distance. The rest, yes, near, but need to drive lah, cannot walk, right? And last, they mentioned about the skies located at a matured and well-established area, right? So this one is based on the agent's marketing POV. Roughly for us, it's not too bad. They are not overhyped or maybe not yet, right? Since the project is still super new lah. So let's dig in. Some of them is true, we think, and some of them for us it depends on the justification lah. So what we think on the real USP for these guys, first one, as per our observation, this is the cheapest launch price in Maluri as of today, right? They price as low as 499 gross price, two bedder. For Bumi entitled for extra 5% Bumi discount, right? And next is we can consider this development as low density development, only about 303 units only for the whole development, right? And not only that, the skies come with rooftop facilities, sky pool, sky gym, which not many in this area got this kind of rooftop thing, right? Also, as per agent mentioned, the third one, yes, we agree that this development potentially can give up to 8% ROI with high cash flow due to the strong rental demand in the area, right? As per our observation, based on long term pun dah quite great already, right? Next is we think super practical layout is one of the USPs. They start with only about 550 square feet for two bedder, up to 800 square feet, like that, for the biggest layout, where all the layout can be converted to dual key, right? And yep, so that's for all the USP, but we detected one concern for this project that mainly discussed in forum, which is site located just next to temple. So is this a big issue or not? We'll discuss right after this. Okay. For these guys, this is the info. Just a straightforward information. You can screenshot first. Not gonna go into details. But roughly 3 layout available. Leasehold with 3 floors, 3 level of facilities. Ada dekat tingkat 8, 40 dan 41 for the rooftop pool and sky gym. Okay. So let's see on the own stay perspective for skies. In terms of accessibilities, clearly stated here lah. This is Maluri. Location accessibilities considered quite many. Ada KL Sembai Highway, Smart Max, Best Raya, MR2 and apa semua lah, right? Quite numbers of educational institutions, private and public, including the Sunway College, just next to them. Hospitals and malls are quite a number of mall apart from Sunway Velocity nearby, right? Public access about 550 meter to MRT Maluri stations, which about 2 stations away daripada TRX. The rest of stations, apart from Maluri, is quite far. Need to drive. Okay? And here we put mortgage based on 90%, 4% interest for all the layout, starting from about 1,900 plus. Okay? So for investment perspective, median subsale at Maluri as of today about 850 PSF. For new about 880, for old about 730 PSF lah. So new as in 5 years completion from today and old more than 5 years, right? And Maluri can be categorized as tier 2 area with potential of potentially of 3 more land plots to be developed. Booster as TRX total completion for this area, and maturity point, we consider Maluri as semi-matured, considering few more vacant land plots in the area, right? MRO, as in the multiple rental option, berapa banyak type rental that we think suitable for this guys. First is whole unit rental, whole unit long-term rental, and Airbnb, with plus point of dual key juga. And rental here, in Maluri, the closest is SV2, Laville, Urna. So for two bedder, can see here from 2.6 to 2.7 up to 3,000 plus up to 3,006, with the consideration of bigger in size in comparison to Skies. And three bedder is about 3.5 up to 4,000 plus, right? Hence, if you want to compare to all the monthly mortgages now, the cash flow is we can consider quite a lot, right? Based on today's market rental. Okay. So let me bring along the panelists again. What do you guys think for this? The skies is a deal or grill?
You got the layout already.
Got
Yes, we have.
Oh, okay.
For-
Your
for-
online
for-
don't have.
For obvious reasons, so
Uh-huh.
we have it lah.
Oh, because I was just gonna say this one is like macam Encik Faizul yang design ni. I look at all the criteria.
Unfortunately, you're right. I was working with the primary agent that was the planner for the developer on this project for the last 2.5 years. So of all the property that you see in Malaysia, this is basically the first one whereby 100% of our requests, right, has been implemented. Right.
Oh, you see, I know you all so well. Oh my God.
So very, very spot on. Dual key, rooftop pool, rooftop gym, rooftop cinema.
Aiyo.
Plus in the area, very far cap, right? So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. But anyway, for me, it's just good to fully disclose. I don't think that we should, in a way, hide from the public in our role and contribution.
Yep.
Like I said, we've helped the developer to design this. If you know the developer, the primary person behind it is a developer called Jaya Mega. Their latest project that was delivered is Pixel, that we rated as a grade A a couple of years ago when launched. I think today buyers are just so fucking happy, right? It's in the price side, right, Philip? Pixel? Right, co-living doing very well, long-term rental doing very well, facilities are good, right? So this is their best, most luxurious property to date, right? And the background is that actually, this property was supposed to be sold at an average of roughly net 850 ringgit per square foot.
Yeah. That was the second hint.
Suppose that was a plan, and even at 850, we know it will make money. Unfortunately, because Big Brother Sunway heard about them launching, so they decided to throw price in a way in SV3. So that forces them to basically price it at a price point which today makes it the cheapest in the whole of Maluri from a price per square foot point of view. And of course, net price, if you look at the layout. Layout-wise, it's completely unique. There's nothing like it in the whole of Maluri, right? In the whole of Maluri, the closest thing there is actually continue dual key, right? So continue dual key is what we bought in 2016 for about 700,000+, freehold close to about 900 ringgit per square foot. That at a point of time. Today we had a staff who just got an offer from 700,000+. Your best friend, Sean, right? Got offered 1.15 million for one unit.
So sell.
400,000 net profit, not bad. So continue in a way it's the worst location. As I speak to clients recently, in front got Pudu Market, belakang got apparently the prostitution punya center, KFC berkasut, ada temple kat sebelah, and ada masjid kat sebelah. And still, I mean, from an Airbnb point of view, we did quite well. Long-term rental today also can get 4-figure positive cash flow. So Skies, given the fact that it's much better location, unblocked KLCC view, rooftop facility got rooftop pool. Continue got rooftop facility but no rooftop pool. So we think it's going to be better lah. So in the
Yep.
interest of full disclosure, it is a property that we actually designed together with the developer and the main agent in the last 2.5 years. Right? So yeah. We saw that it's widely discussed in forum, which is why I thought, okay lah, never mind. Let's just give people what they want. So basically layout got basically 3 layout, right? You got the 450 square foot dual key, right? Which is a studio. And then you got 650 square foot, right? That
Betul.
right? Of 1 studio and one plus 1 bedroom on the other side. And then you got the 800 square foot. So 3 layouts are basically.
550 is a studio and 1 bedder.
Yeah.
Okay, own stay, not really. Investment, take my money.
Shortest review ever. Yeah.
No,
So very
because-
much aligned lah, we all.
Yeah, because you look at it, right? How come it's not competing against Sunway? Okay, something must be different. But then the facilities is so formularized, the size is so spot on. Okay. And it was a
Very,
wild guess.
very fishy, yeah. The grill is very fishy. So yeah. So
Yep.
full disclosure, we actually behind the design team lah. So the agent did a good job. We give them a feedback, and then of course they retune, they refinalize, and the end product is something that we're just very, very, very happy to look at lah. Basically, long story short, right? So my verdict similar to Sean, no way for own stay, right? But for investment, shut up and take my money lah. Right?
Open already, man? It's not yet. Say, I want to text you, I want to drop booking fee already.
Officially cannot yet. Officially cannot yet. But as far cap client, you know lah, right? So you can actually book already.
Okay.
Officially public cannot. Far cap client can already book. Yes. Right. Zach, what's your predict, Zach?
Onsen no kalau I dengan family. If single, I might consider. So single, if I single and stay for on stay macam yes, low dance lagi, but family no. For investment POV, I'm biased to the smaller size as possible. So 2-bedder is 550 square feet. I would rather consider this than 2-bedder bigger size lah. Contoh, as you mentioned, Big Brother 700 plus square feet. So dah jimat 150 plus square feet already lah. For the same layout, which can potentially fetch the 2-bedder punya area rental, right? And this is Maluri, good rental, median quite high. So ons lah, beli below median. Rooftop pool, rooftop facilities, quite rare to get this kind of spec here in Maluri with this kind of price point. So super yes for investment is a deal. Green flag.
William?
I'm probably a bit biased because I already booked. So book units there. Yeah, like
kiasu
what
already
we all-
now. I kiasu already. Oh
Yeah.
my god, yo.
I think the best layout for me, right, is actually after I when I do the booking, I thought about it like, okay, actually the 3-bedders should be the best one, because as far as I know, Velocity area, there's a lot of China people coming in, and I heard there's a few record rental and also sales price in V residence itself. So I'm thinking like, wow, if I can buy at, the gross price about what 600-700K for the 3-bedder, right? Rooftop pool, low dance. Once completed, you can sell 1 million or 400K gain just like that. That's why I actually thinking. I mean, I choose that unit lah.
You're booking
it's kind of a
and you're
unit selection kind of
calculating
sharing.
capital appreciation already.
Yeah, I'm just thinking this strategy lah. Like, okay, I think this is a good exit strategy. So just sharing lah. So I mean, of course, investment is a on already lah. Like, that's why when I talk about Nexus just now, I think like, why get Nexus when you can get this thing?
Yeah.
Like Maluri. Yeah. Own stay like Zakri, I think quite aligned. Unless I mean, if I have family, I won't stay there lah. But if I'm single or have a partner, I think boleh lagi lah, because very convenient lah. Like for us, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, apa kan, very convenient lah basically. Walkable. I think you got also the covered walkway as well to the MRT station. So yeah, everything's just there. Okay,
Albee?
so deal for me lah. Won't say ke, yeah, it's deal already lah. I mean, one deal already.
I also same deal for both. I actually agree with William, so I also will go with the big size. I'm looking for the capital appreciation. So if you're buying at such prices and looking at for the big size layout, when you can sell at 1 mil to foreigners, I think I'm looking for a capital gain also lah. So quite in my point of view, I think it's quite good for that. But of course, it takes some time for that. This is still under con as well. Own stay also quite alright. Because it's dual key convertible, so I can stay in one of the unit and rent it out. So it's catering for both investment and also own stay. Own stay is more towards the connectivity lah, and also the vibrancy of the commercial area in this Maluri. So I'll deal for both actually. As a single, so we're looking at a small layout. So
All I can say is that if you buy level 38, we'll be neighbors with me. So that's hint number one. Hint number two here is that the largest size unit are the one with the unblocked KL skyline view. So the 800 square foot, which is the largest one, it has got an unblocked KL skyline view. So in a way, I think unit number 5 and number 6 are. So if you're wondering which unit I bought, it's going to be the largest unblocked KL skyline view, level 38. Right, so that's my view. Rating wise, like I said, I think it's going to be very, very popular for Airbnb. It's going to be very, very popular within Maluri because of all the things that you see in Maluri, from La Ville to M Vertica to Una to Park 3, right? Velocity 1, 2, 3. None of them has got a rooftop pool, rooftop gym, and a sky cinema. Right, so for investment point of view, very unique. So the only reason why we don't know what this 5-star is because, well, there's an Indian temple next, right? So again, nothing against it, but it's just that it's not the perfect property, right? And again, the other verdict why, right? The reason why it's 4.5 is that there's quite a fair bit of property around the area which is actually freehold. So this one, again, bear in mind, guys, this is leasehold, right? So as of today, lease is about 89 years. Developers committed to renew to 99 years upon VP, right? So own stay wise, I think if you have family, it doesn't make sense to you because the facilities are built for young adults. People like Albee, people like William, people like Zach, not necessarily people like me or Sean, right? So I'm just going to be very honest, right? How we design the product, right? It's not meant for, uncles lah, basically, right? People with kids, right? So we design it for the young, right? For young people, it's got to be the sexiest thing you can basically own, right? The other reason why it's not lower than 2.5 is that anyone here single, guys? Anyone here single? In the audience? Iya ke Zach single? Aku macam pernah tengok.
Single on paper.
Single on paper.
Belum kahwin.
So if you are a bachelor, right? If you are a bachelor, do you know that if you buy the dual key unit, you can actually stay for free? So you imagine you stay in KL, next to MRT, next to a medical center, next to a major mall, and the rental from one of the unit can actually cover you to go and stay for free. All right. So again, you got to structure the deal properly. You got to get the right set of financing. And if you do that, you literally get to stay here for free as a single person in the studio unit. Right. So from a cash flow point of view for investment wise, you are buying below median. Cash flow wise, even the agent was saying 8%. We just cannot argue with it because even if you look at the current long-term rental of non-rooftop pool facilities in the area, property with inferior facilities, right? Even by looking at long-term rental, you already get more than break-even, right? And if you use the right rental strategy, this is a 4-figure positive cash flow property, right? So from investment point of view, I think this is the highest that we have basically rated so far, right? In the history of Deal Grid, right? So yeah, it's not the perfect property for own stay. Like I said, some people will like it, some people won't. Bachelors will love it. People with family, Nexus might be more appealing rather than this. It's going to be a lot more quiet. I don't think there's going to be Airbnb too in places like Nexus, but this one most likely it has to be an Airbnb friendly lah, right? So yeah, for me, stay grill investment high deal. Yeah, Sean.
Developer didn't want to sell the land to Sunway meh?
Huh?
If I am the landowner lah, I think the big tyco is actually looking for lands to buy one.
Yep.
Or they didn't want to let go lah. They rather build.
I think the terms offered by Sunway potentially not as attractive, right? Compared to, you know, the
Building
current
themselves.
developer, right? Because this basically is a JV, right? Together with DBKL2. So it's strike.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
So-
Wow, my senses is shocked.
Yeah, so very rare we see a property with potential four-figure positive cash flow like that without doing Airbnb, without doing medium term. So this is basically just one of it lah. So we like the property, we designed the property, we have highly vested interest. As you can see from the panelists, we are putting our money here. So it become very clear lah from preference point of view. So senang cerita, if you don't like Far Capital or Faizul, don't come and buy here, right? You go
Every
buy.
day see you.
You know, yeah, you go play somewhere else, guys. It's a property that we design one. So go play somewhere else. Go buy something less in the area, right? So yeah. Next, please.
This one is Agile Bukit Bintang. Okay, so without further ado, we just go into the agent's marketing point of view. Actually, this is a part of it is actually already completed. So in terms of their USP, they are saying it's walking distance to TRX Bukit Bintang and also access to 3 MRT stations in total. So it's a freehold, high ROI, versatile and also flexible layout. The only concern here is when they're mentioning high ROI, right? They did not give me a specific numbers, but still they actually keep saying about they having a quite good occupancy for their Airbnb lah. After actually I went to the site visit also for this Agile Bukit Bintang. Actually, I see quite a number of people there, but from some of the feedback that I know, maybe because of there's under one management team, so there's a lot of listing. So maybe there's quite a few competitions in this Agile lah. So that's why for this high ROI justifications from the agents, I actually was not really happy with, because I keep questioning how do you determine the high ROI? What is the percentage? Is it 7 to 8 considering high ROI for you? Or what do you define by this high ROI? But he still can't really give me a number lah about this one. So but he says it's really good because it's just really walking distance towards the TRX and also Bukit Bintang. It's just sandwiched in between these two areas. So TRX is because of financial district lah, we are looking at. So on the next slide, it will be our own point of view lah. So which we think actually is if we're talking about prices per square feet, this is also one of things that I mentioned. This is the cheapest to what we can afford in this TRX area. Flexible layout, some of it is comfortable dual key as well. Short-term friendly it is when I look at the backpackers, also tourists in this Agile, actually is a lot at their lobby when I go for site visit. And also this is one of freehold that we can get in this area. So moving to the next slide will be the more over their details. So you guys can just screen these details. Something to highlight, the net per square feet today offered in the market is about close to 1,350 per square feet lah. So on the next slide will be the own stay verdict. So accessibility wise, I think it's quite alright. It's just next to Jalan Turun, also Jalan Bukit Bintang. Amenities, if talking about schools, is of course is lacking. This is TRX area. There's not much of schools. Shopping malls, yes, there's plenty. Public transport access is TRX currently also Bukit Bintang station. Long-term livability is great accessibility, and also for me it's more towards working opportunities. So if those looking for high expat, they wanted to stay around here, but you are looking for cheaper price point to enter, maybe this is one of it that you can look for. In terms of mortgage wise, right? So their 1+1, about 625 square feet is about close to 5,000. 2-bedroom is about close to 7,500. 3-bedroom is about 7,700 for the lowest. This 3-bedroom actually not much left. This is the lowest that they can give me lah when I go for survey for this Agile. So moving to the next slide is more towards the investment value. So in this area, for those actually there's not much transacted, like non-double transacted. So there's only two. Tribeca is for 1,500. The other one is Pavilion Suites, which is for more towards Bukit Bintang area. But this is a branded unit. So just to highlight, this is why the price is almost double of the Tribeca. Okay, so new one is about 1,855 per square feet. Old is about 1,000 per square foot. Just to highlight, because there's actually not much old in this TRX area. So those old is really very old, like Bintang, Gold Hill, all that kind of old. So it's more than close to about 20 years for now lah. So tiering wise, tier 1. Supplies wise, we have Core, TRX, Orion, Barrington's, Pavilion Square. Actually, I saw some of the Q&A asking Times Square 2, but for me, Times Square 2 is a bit further from this TRX district. So I will consider that more towards 118 or PNB area. So I won't see it as a TRX. So I didn't put into the supply here. So booster wise is clearly this is the TRX financial district. For maturity point, I think it's semi-matured because I think still have potential for the office tower to be matured. MRO, Airbnb and whole unit lah. So rental wise, just to highlight, just looking at Agile itself lah. So 1+1 is about 4,500 to 5,500. 2-bedroom is close to 6,500. 3-bedroom is about 10K lah. So the other I will see as competitors, because of Core is just right above the TRX. Their listing has been asking today lah. So their prices is pretty high. So in my point of view, if we are looking at also walking distance, like really walking distance, not a 1 kilometer like TR2. I would say in terms of rental wise, that you can afford is much more better in Agile comparing to if you go for Core. And also definitely Core is higher in their absolute price point and per square feet. Definitely the mortgage is much more higher. This is why the rental they have to ask in the market is also higher. That's my point of view of surveying in this Agile. So without further ado, let's bring all the panelists to discuss whether it's a deal or a growth for the investment, as this is something like the cheaper or per square feet that you can, a property that you can get in this TRX area, yeah, or even Bukit Bintang. Because now I think most of it is about 1,800 to 2,000 per square feet or 2,002 per square feet, depending on which you are looking at. Pavilion Square is about 2,000 to 2,002 per square feet net. Yeah. So Orion is about close to 3,000, but that's more towards luxury kind of things. If we fully furnished, so it's a different one. So what do you guys think?
So William vested interest, so cannot comment much.
Really, it's the owner, right?
Yeah, he's an owner already. So again, he cannot comment so much lah.
I already deal for the renters.
You
Already deal
dealt. You dealt.
Dealt, yeah, dealt.
Yeah, your unit has
Deal
already
lah,
been
honestly.
right very quickly, William.
Yeah, I mean, investment, like Iherng said lah, dealt already. Memang cost flow like 1-2K net for my unit lah. Because like one of the first free units that's being rented out for the whole project, right? I rushed everything lah, renovation semua tu. So I already dealt lah for the investment wise, memang dealt. Own say wise, I didn't grill. If I were to choose TRX, I still think land lease or TRX residence is better lah. You know, I like it, the specs semua tu, right? Yeah. So I think that's me lah, 50-50.
So some context for everyone that is wondering. We did a deal and I think we bought the cheapest of anything you could have bought in Agile in end of 2023. Right, so we got the cheapest deal, and you know, it was our first and second batch of deal, right? The one that we did. So because of that, he has gotten his keys. Obviously, when we bought, it wasn't VP yet. In fact, TRX Mall wasn't open yet when we bought, so it was still a big question mark. So we bought, then a couple of months later, TRX Mall opened with very huge fanfare, very successfully, and then it was repeat lah. So obviously, William, followed the teachings of ACAP, quickly get your unit to be furnished and rent it out. And I think you rent out your unit before it was even completed, right, William?
Betul. I got the tenant paid the rental. Actually, I do bought for my friend also lah. So 2 units sekali.
Yeah. So unit haven't even been completed, has already secured tenants at that point of time, and based on his net price, he get a 4-figure positive cash flow lah. Right? So that was our deal lah. That was how good our deal was back in 2023. So for people asking, how come William got buy this one? Well, we did the first and second batch lah. I cannot disclose our price, but in the history of Agile, I don't think anyone has bought cheaper, right, than the Far Capital clients, right? So because of that, like I said, William a little bit more vested lah. So he will obviously tell you, yeah, deal, right? So William ni dia walaupun umur dia 26, 27 ya William.
27. Yeah.
27, right? Already own 6-7 properties already, merata-rata. So you heard tonight he already talked about his first property next to cemetery, also doing very well. Now tonight he at least has 3 properties. He's got one in Kepong next to cemetery. He bought Agile, and now he's already looking to buy skies, right? So you already know, almost half of his portfolio today at 27, right? So yeah, that's some context. Zach, what about you? Deal or agree?
Not for homestay. Even I really like the area. I personally like TRX. I pergi TRX almost every week, but not for homestay. For personal reason. For personal reason. But no for
Part-time
homestay.
kerja.
No for homestay lah.
Kerja ke apa ni?
Pergi makan.
Oh, makan.
Wah, atasnya pergi TRX makan.
Wah, very
Every
atas.
week,
lah.
Sebab nak lalu rumah William almost every week. Yeah. Get the inspiration. No, simply because baik I sewakan lah sebab it's a great for my monthly cash flow. So deal for investment, yes, I would consider buying. Simply because this one considered one of the best price in TRX. Pavilion area, spec not bad. Banyak rental USP, and I believe right after phase 1 completion for the past 1 year plus, the confidence from people outside is getting higher and higher due to the rental performance. So rental performance is quite great after the completion of the first one at this Agile. So yes, for investment deal.
Okay. Albee?
Due for investment as well. Looking at the price per square feet to enter, and also the potential in terms of the MRO for Airbnb, and also instead of Airbnb, I actually go more towards the long-term whole unit rental. I think it's quite decent as well in the area, because even there might be some supply coming in near soon future, right? But still this one is really comparable in terms of the rental, the price point, because tenants are looking towards the connectivity. So this is also really connected towards the TRX, like within really walking distance. Price point rental wise would be what you can get offering, also slightly lower than you can get from core or even TRX. Spec wise also quite alright. Real for own stay lah. Yeah, it's just similar towards because amenities wise all is just so big. This is more towards investment deal for me.
Okay. Sean?
Homestay, no investment, yes. But is this the project like now the Airbnb dispute is there, right? Regarding the management. Is it? So like now they are, if not mistaken, there are news that the developer is dominating certain operators or name, right? So all the audience, all the owners are writing in, expecting me to do something like, bro, you tax million better. At least he's invested interest, right? So yeah, but I think for those who are thinking to invest, right, I think rule of thumb is we look into long term first. If long term can sustain like extra 1,000-2,000, right? Close eye, just buy lah. So now I'm just wondering why I need got 2 kidneys. I need more. Sell kidneys and buy more properties. Yeah. So but from I'm just very concerned on the existing topography there where there's a lot of potential projects. That's all. So like when everybody is looking at this rental, like Exxon took everyone by surprise, right? The Lions Den,
Yeah, Lions.
Lions
I
Den.
think Lions.
Wow.
Yeah.
You stand there a day, right? Like non-stop man, the tourists non-stop, the luggage bags and all. So that did really well. Agile did really well, and that will form this perception, and all developers will follow the playbook. Then suddenly one day it might turn around. So I think there needs to be a exit plan in place. So that's my only concern. Because when everybody thinks it's too good, right? And all developers, all landowners, all are listening, I think all will just follow the same playbook.
I think very, very good point, Sean. My POV, if you look at the rating, right? Homestay, I'll rate it 2-star. I think it's going to be a short, medium-term play, very TRX-centric, very Bukit Bintang-centric. Not something for me, for families. Single people, corporate guys, finance guys will most likely find it appealing. Investment, 3.5. Number one is the cheapest thing you can buy in the whole of TRX Bukit Bintang. We like it a lot because we think that today, even if we just concluded our 3rd batch, and we did the first 2 batches in 2023, early 2024. In fact, just last week, to be honest, we just concluded the 3rd batch, right? And we are still buying the lowest units being offered in the market as of today, as far as Agile Bukit Bintang is concerned. So why we are buying it as of today? Simply because we believe that at the price point that we are buying today, which is well below 1,400 ringgit per square foot, we're actually buying at this thing called below replacement cost, right? So when you look at, for example, Pavilion Suites, right? Today, I think launching net 2,000 ringgit per square foot, right? Pavilion Suites KLCC, net 2,000 ringgit per square foot. Gross, I think about 2004, 2003, right? So in a nutshell, for KL City Centre property, if you're talking about walkable to TRX, walkable to Pavilion Bukit Bintang, walkable to Twin Towers, anything below 1,500 ringgit per square foot, guys, is a comfortable, you are buying below replacement cost. So our golden rule today, if you can walk to TRX Pavilion or Petronas Twin Towers, and we can buy at 1,500 ringgit per square foot below, you are buying at below replacement cost. It screams buy lah, basically, right? Irrespective whether the cash flow is going to be good or not. So again, the reason why I didn't score higher from investment verdict point of view, it is simply because, number one, the market for Airbnb is a little bit uncertain. What the developers, again, trying to do, right, with favoring certain property management companies, again, not looking quite great lah. As far as our clients is concerned, I think we are actually quite okay because we are one of the parties that work with the relevant parties, if you know what I mean, because they reach out to us. And today, okay lah, we've got I think last month we have an average of 85% occupancy rate, right? So which is very, very, very high, right? But nonetheless, things can change. And for that reason, we did not rank it higher despite this being the cheapest we can walk to TRX and Pavilion. Today, if you look at the average median of Bukit Bintang today, comparable things like Exxon, right? You're looking at about 1,600 ringgit per square foot, 1,500, 1,600, right? If you look at something nearby, and when you compare to, let's say, for example, the Skies just now, whereby average is about closer to 900 ringgit per square foot, and you are buying at, well below 800 ringgit per square foot. So again, that's why Skies rank higher compared to this. So the other thing that people don't know why we are buying this is because this property, literally, if you buy it with the right strategy, you actually get buy one free one. You buy this property, you get one free Skies. So which means your cash flow per month will be above 3,000 ringgit per month. Which is why when we launch our batch 3, all units were taken out, I think, within 1 hour. Right? Ke tak sampai 1 hour, William? I think less than 1 hour kot.
15 minit.
Less. Actually, half an hour actually for Agile. Less than half
Yeah.
an hour.
So
15 minutes.
less than
15
half an
minutes.
hour, all 22 units gone, booked. Because number one, they got the cheapest, and number two, there's a buy one, free one element dekat sini lah. Right, which I cannot divulge more lah. Again, these are all unfair advantage that, you know, some people would have lah. Nonetheless, even at the price point that the other agents are selling today, in our opinion, is still pretty decent. It still ranks 3.5 star. So this 3.5 star investment is not based on our price point, market price point, but it's based on what the agents outside are selling. So even, right, based on that, we think it's still very decent. So if you're looking for a footprint in Bukit Bintang, TRX, this is, you know, right now, one of the most value for money property you can buy lah. Right? So again, I think that people asking, right, 1,007 okay or not, 1,000, you know, 500 okay or not, right? Just know that we are buying cheaper lah. It's okay, it's okay. We already mentioned, right, based on what the agents are selling is okay. Right? But we are just buying cheaper. Okay? So yeah, that's for Agile. So let's move on to the next one.
So next property to review, this one called Atera at PJ. Right. So think we all can see ads dekat mana-mana. Memang quite hot lah, this one. And if you go Loyak forum pun, people keep on discussing this since few years back till today, right? Quick context, this one located at section 51, not mistaken, near Sheraton, Hilton, PJ, that side lah, right? So first, how do agent outside portray this Atera from their marketing POV lah? First, this one, low density development. I think this one is quite misleading when you say low density, in what angle, right? Because as of now, phase 1, phase 2 launch with more than 1,006 units already, and the expectation when they launch a phase 3 potentially will be more than 2,000 units in one whole development. So for us, it's a misleading USP from agent. Kalau cakap 1,006 unit for 1,006 units, low density ni macam tak betul sikit lah, right? So next is TOD development. Yes, it is about 400 meter. Memang can reach the LRT Asia Jaya already, and there will be a covered walkway. So I think that's the plus point for this Atera. Okay, and luxury concept with various of facilities. So we can see they offer more than, not mistaken, about more than 60 type of facilities kat sana, right? And last but not least, the capital appreciation lah for Atera in comparison to those in section 13 area, right? For us, this one is also quite overhyped lah by agents. By what justification they say on the capital appreciation, right? One is tak ada tanah developed already in the area except the land, if the land acquisition happen. Second, if wanna compare to those section 13 Raya Miho side, yes, they price higher than 800 PSF, 900 PSF. But in micro location consideration, we don't think that site is comparable to this Atera, right? Section 13 is more vibrant with commercial, etc. This area is no commercial nearby. You have to drive about 1.5 km to the nearest Jaya shopping center lah. So not comparable per se, right? So that one is based on agents marketing POV. So let's see on what we think the real USP for this Atera. First, yes, it's TOD. This one confirmed. 400 meter walking and with covered walkway to LRT Asia Jaya. Reputable developer. Yeah. And yes, facilities sangat-sangat banyak. They have at least 2 swimming pools located at different tower lah, Tower A and Tower B, right? And yes, we think PJ is established area and matured area. Yeah, it's PJ lah, everyone knows. And we can consider this area as matured area already lah, right? Okay, so I think that's for USP, but we detected few concern for this project based on the Loyat forums discussion lah. Phase 3 potentially gonna be a SKU unit. They haven't launched, right? Potentially gonna be a SKU unit. Plus, as of today, they are already affordable unit in the phase 1 and phase 2 building. the 550 plus square feet. Yeah, they price at 250 and 270,000, right? And second thing here is that the light industrial area as your neighbor, right? So this concern really a big issue or not? We discuss it later with the panelists, right? So this one is info for Atera as usual. You can screenshot first. Not gonna go into details, but roughly 3 phases will be up. Phase 1 and phase 2 launch already, right? Completion will be on 2027, Q4, Q4 2028 as well, and one more phase not yet launched, right? And this is on own stay perspective for Atera. In terms of accessibility, is clearly stated. This is PJ. Ada Sprint, Federal Highway sebelah je. Sprint, NPE, LDP, Elite. Quite a number of educational institutions, private and public, schools, universities. The nearest one is City Universities, just next to Federal Highway, and also nearby lah, right? Hospital, mall, quite number of mall already nearby. Public access, as mentioned, Jaya, and we put mortgage based on 90%, 4% interest here, starting from 2007 plus for 2-bedder, right? Okay, for investment perspective, median subsale here as of today, about 623 PSF, including resi and commercial, but no new residential property here. And old median about 450 PSF saja, considering Millennium Place, the Istara, all the old development, right? And this area can be categorized as tier 2 area, no booster for this area. And maturity point, we can consider PJ as a mature area already lah, right? Most of the land has been developed. The only possibility of new development is when like land acquisition happen, right? MRO, multiple rental option. For this one, we think the most suitable one is whole unit long-term rental only. Okay. And for rental here, the closest is Millennium in Istara. For 2-bedder, can see here from about 2000 to 2006 roughly, with consideration of older development in comparison to Atera. And 3-bedder is up about 3000 plus, right? And potentially Atera, because it's newer, potentially can push a little bit higher lah for the 2 and 3-bedder punya rental, right? Okay, so let me bring along the panelists again on what do you guys think on this Atera. It's a deal or grill.
I think tonight's the most unethical agents marketing the project. I have to give the award to the Atera agents. Some of the agents are, wow, 1,000 over units you call low density. What the hell, right? So you have to call it as it is. Like I say, we do this. We call bullshit, right, on certain practices, and we made it very well clear. It's not cool to mislead people. Right, it's just not right to go and mislead people, right? So I think the other point that they are basically saying here is that they're also trying to compare this with SS14, right?
13.
SS13, right? Capital gain, right? And they are trying to use Ryan and Miho, right, as a base of comparison when you're basically located in a industrial area. I think there's also a graveyard not too far away from this project. You are the rumah RSKU. It's just completely unethical. So if you guys are looking to buy this, just bear in mind there's nothing wrong. If you love PJ and you want to buy something here, and this is something that you like, but just be aware, right? Just be aware, right? Some agents are not honest at all, right? So low density, right? And high capital gain is just in my opinion, is just BS, right? So yeah, that's that, right? So William, do you agree?
I think actually deal for own stay, because I mean I'm not a super fan for PJ but I got few super PJ fans, right, of my same age, and 1 year younger So they actually, I think one of them bought it buy for investment but then layout wise I think quite standard and in fact I think similar to Nexus just now, especially 2-bedder, the arrangement of the layout. Also, I mean I studied there before, nearby the area so I think stay memang no issue. I believe Zakri and Albee will agree with me. Let's see what they say later on. But then honestly, I think deal. But just that investment wise, yeah, I think you know, like what was the Zakri say lah, there's Remiho, and actually I'm thinking like why the agent don't even compare to Atwater, which is by the same developer, along the same road, actually next to Remiho. But they use Remiho as a comparison, right, for this project. Because I thinking Atwater probably priced at higher price good last time, right, compared to Remiho. So yeah, but then if this is the case, then yeah, I want to see first of all, like, yeah, if Atwater for the same developer, right, they don't even use that as the comparison, right? So where's the capital gain kind of a talk, right?
So did people
Or
make
thing
money for
coming.
air water or not? So that will be the question, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the
Right.
thing. I heard good feedback for Remiho lah, R&M, like very, very good. But Atwater so lah.
Yeah, which is why they're not using it as a comparison, I guess.
Mm.
Right? Zach?
Things I don't like about this development is first, obviously, is I don't think it's a low density. And for this one, I shared to Faizul lah. This one is one way in and one way out road through the office and light industrial buildings. For 2,000, potentially 1,006 to 2,000 plus units for one in, one out, I think it's gonna be tough lah, right? Especially on the morning and evening rush hour. I used to study in the area and quite familiar with this area. There will be a lot of cars parking by the roadside. Sangat-sangat jam lah. For on stay, for me is a no. Personally, apart from the facilities and apa semua tu, selain daripada tu macam off lah. The industrial buildings, as your neighbour, the traffic, and I don't think it's comparable to section 13 lah. For investment, apart from all those things yang I mentioned just now, plus point there is the LRT Asia Jaya. But for me, works for few layouts only, not all. Because in general, big sizes not really need LRT, right? But okay lah, decent walking distance to LRT with the proposed covered walkway. Rental wise can't really compare to those right and Miho, obviously. So for me, this nearby area not really much new development to push, but old pun okay lah, like Istara Millennium can go up to 3K for 3 bedder. Potentially can push more lah for Atera. But capital gain, I'm macam tak confident lah. Where the absolute price is already high, more than 500,000 for 2 bedder. So macam off lah. So no for investment as well.
And this is selling above median, right?
Yes, it is. For new, because we cannot compare new to new, because tak ada new development here for SC. But for old, it's already about more than 250 ringgit PSF.
About 40-50% premium lah.
About that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Albee?
I also grill for both. Homestay, I think is quite similar to Zakri. The location itself, surrounding, I not really like it. So I'm so not a fan of PJ, to be honest, even though I studied there as well. In terms of investment scene, it's really concerning about the prices, because everyone was actually talking about PJ was because PJ was hot last time. People say, oh, in PJ you have a lot of capital appreciations, but for me is it depends on all the upcoming booster to boost up the area, whether this area is considered matured or not, and also the price that you're entering. So there's not new development to be there. I mean, in new to be transacted. And considering those old, the gap is quite big, and also the entry price is quite high for this consider, I would say more largely towards a high density. And if I'm not mistaken, this RSKU also mix in between all of it. So of course I know they can't, maybe the government will have a cap of this or maybe in future, but this might be one of the concerning for me as well for in terms of investment. Yeah.
They have this service apartment mampu milik in the tower 1, tower 2. But potentially tower 3 gonna be all RSKU potentially. They haven't announced. Yeah.
So grill for both.
John?
For own stay, I might deal because no choice. So instead of comparing from condo to condo where everybody is thinking about it, right? From our own stay point of view, people don't think like that. I would think like, oh, my parents stay in the landed. They will sponsor the down payment. Buy low. No choice really, nothing else there.
Yeah.
Right? And if you think about the premium, right, like they are selling above median, I think this is a clear demonstration for audience at home, right? For some value to take back, right? Because when policy changed, like last time got no RSKU yet before the new government, so everything was cheaper. And after RSKU, 50% is Bumi Kota. So it's very, very hard to monetize in the first 3.5 years. Technically, no cash flow. Some you sell already, you go government account first, then go HDA account, then you need to hold until Bumi release. So it's going to be very, very pricey to build. And those lands there are commercial industrial land, but you build residential on top of it. Wow. So that's why it's going to be very, very expensive. Then the comparison to Ryan and Miho. I was around when Ryan and Miho first put up the banner. I thought it was Ryan proposing to Miho. So that was the days. And since then, they changed 6 marketing managers and I know all of them. So it was a terrible product to begin with. But the best thing that happened was COVID. So after COVID, then suddenly everything makes sense. Walking distance to mall makes sense. The pricing makes sense. Everything makes sense. And now it's the shout of the town. So everybody keep comparing Ryan and Miho to everything else where the facilities behind. Wow, now it's a big thing, right? So investment, no, for Atera, because it's not meant to be lah. If you want investment, you won't build 2 swimming pools lah. It's definitely for lifestyle, but then I'm thinking like, let's say if I want to stay in PJ, but I want new apartment, what else can I buy? Nothing else. The latest one is Mega Rise, I think. Latest one is no more already. So it's the only one. That's why I think own stay, right? It will do well. Just the investment I won't. I will not buy.
What makes our deal last year at 550 per square foot looks good lah. Right? So yeah. For me, very similar verdict, right? Own stay, I think for people who like PJ and who wants to buy something at 600,000 for the smallest unit and below, you really don't have much of a choice. From an investment point of view, I think you've seen tonight, I think there's just easily, we discussed 3 properties so far. All 3 properties better from investment point of view than this. I really don't like the fact that agent is trying to anchor this to Ryan Miho when I think it's a completely 2 different projects. But then again, it's just agents doing agent things to basically go and sell properties. But the other thing that I really don't like is the fact that this is being marketed as a low density project, right? Which very clearly is not, right? So I think own stay is still okay, facilities wise is still okay, size wise still okay, quite standard. Facilities are way above average because you're competing with all the new old property in the area. So I think it's fine. But for investment point of view, at this kind of price point, they're just better buys, right? Anything that we'll discuss tonight is better buy, right? So yeah, that is our verdict.
One more thing to add. How can anyone promise capital appreciation? That's one magic. If you can promise that, I would buy myself already lah. It's either the developer cuckoo or agent cuckoo. So I don't know which one.
No, Sean, because of that, the first thing first, they compare to Ryan and Miho. So Ryan and Miho price is already here. So they price here. So they say that the price gonna be fetching up towards here. So that's where they come up with this capital appreciation thing lah. Yeah. So that's their logic
You think developer don't want to make more money, one man?
Yeah. Look, the easiest way, by the way, in order if you want to predict capital gain, is to see how much
The
below
rental can go.
median that you are buying. So median average price point, right? What
Mm.
people are willing to pay averagely for a new property in the area, right? Let's say, for example, Bukit Bintang today you've seen is 1,005 to 1,006, right? So you buy below that, so there's a room for you to make capital gain wise because you're already buying below market, right? The market might not see it today, but comparatively to everything else in Bukit Bintang, you're buying cheaper, so fine, right? Similar, if you go Maluri, whereby average is about 850, 900 ringgit per square foot, then you buy at 750, 780 per square foot, you already have room, right, for capital gain because you're buying below median. This one clearly, I mean, from a median point of view, fair point, there's just no new property lah to compare with lah, right? But if you stretch all the way, because it's not comparable to Raya Miho, and the reality is that we bought in PJ last year, right? And this is just last year. Last year is just a month ago, right? As past 1 month ago, you can actually buy a property walkable to a mall in PJ, proper mall, and not dead mall, proper live mall, at just 550 per square foot, and it's completed. And from a spec point of view, it's just way higher. So I think the fact that people don't study, don't attend session like this, cause them to think paying 700 ringgit, 800 ringgit per square foot makes sense here. And yeah, you should compare to Ryan and Miho, right? And yeah, you're going to be guaranteed a capital gains, right? So for me, I don't think there's anything much wrong with the product. I just completely disagree with how the product is currently being sold and being marketed by certain agents, which to me pisses me off and it is a complete turn off for me. So guys, just be mindful, right? Please go look for independent reviews. I think forums are okay. Session like this, I think, give you a little bit more insight, right? Compared to that, a little bit more brief insight, right? So if you continue to learn, no one can scam you,
Correct.
with guaranteed capital gain.
Also, if you just Google the Atera residence, right? This is one of the tactics that agents use also lah. Last time I used to teach people to do this lah. Is to just copy whatever the developer website has. To just create the exact same one and use the right SEO and whack money, right? You will come out first on top before the official website of the developer. So developer also allow, which is weird, like you are putting in a lot of money to advertise the project, but you just all the leads just flows to your agent where you are going to pay commission to anyway. I don't know. Yeah, so no, well, I got their numbers, so maybe I call them later.
Bye, let's go. Last one. Come on, let's do it.
Last one.
Close to home.
Oh, yeah, we have Kingswood, Bukit Jalil. I think Sean has special interest in this area. So without further ado, let's go with this Kingswood. So this is strategic locations, mature amenities around. So people are saying this is close to LRT, just next to recreational park, walking distance to pavilions, Bukit Jalil. And also they name the road as a $1 million road. So they say this Kingswood is lower entry price as surrounding is asking about 1,000 per square feet and above lah, or you want enter is about 1 million and above. So in terms of low entry price, because they offer small sizes, that's why the entry price is slightly lower. So in terms of Bukit Jalil, if you refer back to our battle royal in this area, so most of it is small, big sizes, catering for own stay. But yeah, there are some under constructions or upcoming units that offer small sizes. So prime area with booster, mentioning about the KL Wellness City and also the Admiralty Park. So on the next slide will be our own point of view. The only, I would say, is really strategic location, small size friendly because of due to lower supply in these sizes. But concerning is more towards the high density or high supply that's coming up, because as you can see in the slide later on. So on the next slide will be on the details where you guys can just screenshot. So net per square feet is about 800 per square feet today. So sizes wise, they're catering for really small sizes, about one bedroom, one floor for about 500 square feet. So really mean for small sizes. The others one would be actually at the KL Wellness Suites by the same developer, which you guys can survey as well. Okay, on the next slide would be the own stay verdict. So accessibility, quite accessible, a lot of highways around here with this Kingswood location lah. So schools, there's plenty. We have colleges as well, international school also. Public transport access is the RT Awang Besar. Long-term livability, I think it's really livable for this Bukit Jalil area as the own stay. Access the public transport, amenities around, vibrancy, commercial, recreational park. In terms of mortgage, so for one bedroom, one bathroom is about close to 1,008. Two bed, two bath is about 2,005. Three bedroom is about close to 2,009. So on the other slide, we're more on our investment value. So median for today, Bukit Jalil is about 713 per square feet. New one is about 831 per square feet. Old is about 461. So new one is mainly driven by the park, the first one. So tiering is, I would say, still considering tier 2. Supplies-wise, as for now, this is, I would say, quite a number, close to 8,000 units under construction to be completed in 2028 or 2029 lah. So boosters-wise, I think this is more private driven. This is KL Wellness City, and so M-Ranti Park is by government, but other than the site clearance and the news, but it's been saying for many years, but still haven't doing anything yet. So I put a question mark for this M-Ranti Park as it. KL Wellness City also a question mark because this is more towards a private driven project rather than a government driven project. So they also make quite, of course, private, they will make quite a profit of it from this. Maturity point, I think, is semi-matured because there's still many pieces of land to be developed over here. MRO, whole unit co-living, same from Airbnb as well. Rental, when I go for agent, right? Agent take the close comparison, ask me to compare with the trees. Okay, so it says 3-bedroom can offer 4,000, is a quite good rental in this area. Then if you're looking for smaller layout, you can look at the Tropica also on the park lah. For 2-bedroom, it's about 2,006 to 3,000 or 2,008, 3,002. But I would say this is much more premium, especially park is from part of the pavilion development itself. Tropica is the view of the golf course, and yeah, so it's more towards people who wanted to go for lifestyle. Maybe they will buy for this Tropica. Yep, I think that's all from the Kingswood. So let's bring all our panelists. But just before this, I just wanted to raise for this. This is what I found some forum. People are questioning, or people are not questioning, people are worrying about this development in, not this development, it's about this developer because they actually launched quite a number of units in this area. So maybe on terms of their plan of delivering on time on their some of the project they have promised in other area was also not on time so which is a bit contra from their image last time so now people also a bit concerning where they have so much of supply to be put in this area, whether they can still maintain whatever they promised so yeah. So what do the panelists think about this?
I think I'm just gonna say what has not been said, and this is probably gonna be the, a lot of people are gonna hate me for it right? Especially Bukit Jalil fans. I think Bukit Jalil is heading towards a situation of 3 O's, right? Overhype, overprice, oversupply, right? So and the reason why I say this is because somehow the situation in Bukit Jalil doesn't make sense to me, because I think from 2019 up until 2024, we've only had 5,000 units Albee that has been completed, right?
Not considering those rumah VIP, there's only 5,000.
Yeah. You knock off rumah VIP obviously, which is not a competition, right? So private condo is 5,000. Last 5 years, I look at 5,000. The next 5 years, that number is going to be 8,000. So you're looking at the situation from a supply point of view, it's going to increase by 150%, right? So, and of course, if you buy Bukit Jalil about 650, 700, 750 ringgit per square foot, it's all still fine. But you look at the current launches, right, because it's basically dominated by one single developer, these are all asking at 900 ringgit, 1,000 per square foot. These are tier 1 price point. These are Mont Kiara price point, and today you can even buy Mont Kiara cheaper. And the rental in Mont Kiara is just completely different. So it's not that I hate Bukit Jalil. It doesn't make sense to me, because from a supply point of view, from a demand point of view, it just doesn't make sense, right? You got one condo doing 4,000, right? But at 4,000, how do you justify selling 900 to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot? And I think the reason why people are buying is simply because, from a sentiment point of view, there's a lot of local people who like Bukit Jalil. So again, I think at 700, 750 per square foot is a very fair price point to pay for upper tier 2 matured area. Very fair. But 900 to 1,000, I don't see a happy ending, especially with this level of supply. Right? Sean, what's your take? People are already asking, what is Sean's review as well on this?
Bukit Jalil.
I pass by this every day. Okay, so I think first of all, there's a few areas of Bukit Jalil. I think you can go and look into the Battle Royale a bit. Like one is on the other side where Paraiso is, the Wellness City is. That side then is already selling. I consider that as the lower tier Bukit Jalil area compared to the one that is closer, the pavilion side of things. So I stay in Tropica. I think the whole world knows I stay in Tropica. And I buy at the cheapest price. And again, like what Faizul said is true. During the first lockdown, this project was marketed in Hong Kong because it was too expensive at 700 to 800 per square feet. It was too expensive for locals to buy. And I got to know about the project from my Hong Kong audience. Then only I go and buy. Then after I buy, only now becomes the cheapest property around the area lah. New lah, right? And then you look back into the Battle Royale episode, for those who have bought trees, Skylux, Pavilion, Sky Park and things like that, right? No one made money. All lose money. Even like the new projects now, if you buy at 1,000, right? Last time they bought before COVID was 1,200. That's worse. And yeah, so a lot of people are losing money in Bukit Jalil, but everyone is still buying because of the old money theory that we discussed before, like the Oakland Road. So everybody in Taman OUG, like you see here next to my view, right, on Chinese New Year, it's like a 1-hour fiesta of fireworks. So everybody got money here. Then where do their offspring stay? They will stay in the newer modern area, which is Bukit Jalil. So because of that, in terms of livability, I am loving it, because my kids' school, my park, my mall, I think I pump petrol every month once only because everything is so close. But also because I'm making money lah. So now, but the rental there macam not chun lah, because now I think my unit can actually got people offer for 4,000 too. I am so tempted to let out my house. Yeah, I think in terms of Kingswood then, or is closer to the Muhiba station side. That side then is another different side of Bukit Jalil for locals. You tell people you stay Bukit Jalil, I need to determine. It's like Mont Kiara, which street? Yeah. So it's a little bit more micro than that. And you feel very, very different. So to me, I would say my buy is the best. But Kingswood, for smaller units, then I don't think
I don't think anybody should buy like even for investment. Right, I don't think they will make money. If you like the place for the place, you got budget, go ahead, man. Join me in Bukit Jalil. But then you are making the congestion worse. Uh, but in terms of investment wise, I don't think anybody would make money.
Yeah, I mean like there's comment here. Kingswood is close to Bukit OG and we are buying OG at 550 per square foot. Right? And we got something completed which we think at the higher spec. So again, I think people who are buying Bukit Jalil today because of the hype, I think don't fully understand the fact that there's going to be close to about 8,000 units on top of the existing of 5,000 new units in the last 5 years. So that's 13,000 of supposedly high-end property all marketed being sold at an average of about 900 to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. Right? That's even a higher number compared to Mont Kiara, by the way. From a supply point of view, from a net price point of view.
Yep.
Right? So and the rental is completely non-comparable. Right? Because today, if you were to buy a 3,000 square foot in Mont Kiara, highest rental you can fetch is probably going to be 15 to about 20,000. As long as not Jalan Kiara 3. Right? But Jalan Kiara 4 is fine, Jalan Kiara 2 is fine, Jalan Kiara 1 obviously, right? But yeah, so for me, I'm just wondering why. And why hasn't anyone picked up on this? Am I missing something? Yeah.
I think a lot of celebrities are here.
I mean, obviously, you are there, so...
No, bro. Fuck you.
Hello. So,
No, I think a lot of actually like my place here, the breakfast place, you always see like movie stars, you always see TV stars, you always see people because Astro is nearby. Then you can also see a lot of sportsmen nearby. And then for update for Albee, the Meranti one, earthwork is going very, very fast. So now they are planting landscape really. So
to build for it to be developed in terms of their concept, thing would take some time also. Yeah, I saw the clearance last time also. So now the offer already done it for landscaping.
Yeah. I can take picture for you. I can just walk out.
Grill or grill because we're now at 11:54.
Oh, okay, shit. Okay.
Alright, so we should try to wrap it before 12. At least on the non-Q&A side. So
I will
ladies
grill.
first.
Grill. I will not buy. I will encourage people to rent.
Right.
Bukit Jalil.
Okay, Sean, grill on both. Albee?
Actually grill on both. So if Kingswood, yes, we have, because Bukit Jalil have a lot of sites. So this is more close to that Muhibah, LRT Ombasa site. In terms of their rental options, if you are looking at this close to RT, there's actually some other comparable. And also went for some to see like actually their maintenance also quite well, but they can offer a much more cheaper price because this is higher in terms of their per square feet. Of course, in future rental, I think would be higher in price point as well. So maybe you can get something better and lower in price point. So I think investment value future in with the supply, I think would be a big concern. So it's a grill. For own stay, I also go for grill because actually towards the Taman OUG side, in terms of this area, actually also quite a lot of supply that's already there. So if there's don't really offering a better view and also a better sizes, I think it's a grill for this one. Yep.
William?
Obviously you can't go opposite against the Bukit Jalil punya people, right? I mean, grill for both, same, right? And because I mean, my friend also bought like, I mean, obviously not Kingswood, but then I think he bought some Flora for homestay. So I think homestay wise, a lot of options are like what Iherng stay, Tropica, semua tu. I think Sky, Lux, semua tu. Better options out there. Investment, obviously, like also Iherng Faizul said just now, similar price point, like per square foot wise, Mont Kiara get better yields, right? But Bukit Jalil, it's just not logic to invest there at the same price point as in Mont Kiara. So grill for both.
Zach?
Sama, grill for both. own stay, much more better options out there. More own stay friendly layout and facilities, price and apa semua. Investment simply because of the price lah. Entered to this price like buying a future price already, so not confident on the capital appreciation. Yeah.
For me, it's both agree for both, obviously. The biggest major concern for me as far as this area, this property is concerned, will actually be the supply lah. Right? So the level of competition coming up, I think the negative cash flow will actually be quite bad. Right? Nonetheless, I think there are people commenting, maybe should tunggu for auction. I don't know whether is there going to be a lot of auctions in Bukit Jalil side, this type of people who buy this level of property, because number one, they've got holding power lah. I mean, as what Sean has basically rightly said, it's largely second gen. Our parents can cover certain, level of cash. So I think the probability of you getting units in auction will not be too high, right? Subsale will be more realistic, and I think at subsale, I think people probably would pay 850 to 900 ringgit per square foot ish, which I think is a more fairer kind of like price point at that point of time. But let's see. No, I hope I'm wrong. I normally don't like to be right about this, because normally if I'm right, a lot of people lose money. But the numbers don't lie, like guys. Right? I can lie, agent can lie, Albee can lie, Sean can lie, anyone can lie, right? But numbers don't lie, lah. Right? So when you have 150% of the existing new supply coming up in the next 5 years, it's normally not good news. It's pretty bad news, lah. Right? So, unlike PJ just now, whereby you got completely no supply, this one has got plenty of supply to choose from. Right? And for us, you go OUG, you can buy, in a way, something better for 550 per square foot. It makes no sense to buy anything in either this pseudo Bukit Jalil or actual Bukit Jalil at above 900 ringgit per square foot. Yeah.
Oh, and your 8,000 didn't include OUG side of things yet also.
No, not yet. Just Bukit Jalil.
Another
Wow.
1,000 unit there. Ooh.
Wow.
And
Just
Kinara
Bukit
side there?
Jalil. Huh?
Kinara side also.
No Kinara, so just Bukit Jalil saja. Tak termasuk Kinara, tidak termasuk OUG, already 8,000.
Wow.
Right?
Interesting,
yeah, so very interesting time ahead lah. So if there's gonna be a oversupply, potentially a crash in Bukit Jalil, we have called it as far as 2nd February 2025, 5 years ahead, guys. So ni ada mesin masa ni dekat sini. Right? So yeah. Right? So I think with that, we've concluded, right, tonight's session of Deal or Grill. All 5 property, all concluded within 2 hours. Woohoo! Right? So I think we can move to Q&A. Right? And I see a lot of good questions coming up in Q&A. So let's see if we can wrap up everything within the next 30 minutes or so. Right?
All right. Okay. So let's move on to the first question. This one is from Christopher. Hey guys, I like PJ and already booked Atera. I decided to join this session because you guys reviewing Atera. Now I need to reconsider again. Is there anything I can buy in PJ that is better?
So the question of better in PJ is, it also depends on your affordability, right? So as we highlighted just now in the session, last year, I mean, as of last month, you can still buy a 550 per square foot next to Paradigm Mall. I mean, that's part of PJ. So we think that's a much better location. It is a much better product too, right? Yeah. So can you buy something better? The answer is yes. Yeah, absolutely. But you have to look,
It depends on intent also. Like if you really buy the house to get married, right? You can totally afford, then I don't see why not also. But if it's for you want to make money at the same time, then not lah. That's the tough point lah.
Yeah. I would highly recommend anyone watching tonight, right, is to at least you don't want to pay way above median, because that would diminish your probability of making money. So which is why we highlighted, so every time your session, you join Deal or Agree, we actually highlight, this area, what is the average median of new property? That gives you an insight of what price point you should enter and what price point you should completely avoid, right? So now, if today, for example, we just discussed Bukit Jalil, if today there's hundreds of transactions in 2024 at above 1,000 per square foot in Bukit Jalil, I cannot be saying what I say as of now. Because the market can support 1,000 ringgit per square foot comfortably, more than 100 transactions. But today, you cannot find anything above 1,000 per square foot. Can you find even above 900 ringgit per square foot? Is very rare in Bukit Jalil, which is why there's going to be some concern, right? So for first-time home buyer, I strongly recommend don't use emotion so much, but also use logic. Because why? If your first property actually make money, all right, it's easier for you to move ahead with your second, third purchase to actually buy your dream home. And when you lost money in your first property, it just becomes very hard, lah, right? William today is sitting on 500,000 capital gain at 27 years old, right? His property in Iskandar Putri and Bukit Bintang alone is already, if you were to combine, it's already a few 100,000 profit, right? So that's what happens when you don't use emotion so much, but you use logic to go and buy things. And the simplest thing to go and have a look is to actually use median, right? Go, next question.
Right. So next question is come from Mustaqim. You seems to be biased and don't like about Bukit Jalil. Most of the time you say good thing about Monkera. Is it because you bought it there? You bought your property there? Yes.
I'm not biased on area. I'm biased on price. I have not bought anything in Maluri. I'm gonna buy something because the price is right, right? So I'm not biased against any area. At the right price point, I'll buy into any area. So and similarly, I think you heard Sean's POV, right? He owns Bukit Jalil. He loves Bukit Jalil. But does he agree that 900, 1,000 ringgit price per square foot makes sense as of today? Not really, right? And at the end of the day, he's not buying at 900. He's not buying at 1,000 ringgit per square foot. He's being way below, right? Whatever which is selling as of today, lah. So he will undoubtedly make money, because today at Sean's price point, in hindsight, if I were to know, I would buy too, right? But you know, I don't have similar insights, and of course, largely Sean bought it for own stay anyway, right? So he got a good deal. He bought it for own stay. He likes the area. He makes money out of it. Fine. So it's similar to people who bought Desa Park City. They bought it because they love it, and they make money out of it, and that's fine, right? But if you're looking to buy from an investment point of view, then that's very specific math that you have to use. And the math that Bukit Jalil is more expensive per square foot wise compared to Monkera, it's not mathing for me. All right? The math is not mathing for me. That's it. Right? So I don't have anything against Bukit Jalil.
Yeah, so I think the difference in mindset here again is, are you a home buyer or are you a property investor? Because if you're a home buyer, you always buy an area that you are familiar in. So you get a bit more defensive and people don't like your area. Like especially for Cheras lah, for Subang lah, Subang cannot lah, Cheras cannot, everybody get very agitated, right? So that's a home buyer mindset. If you are a property investor, we only look at ROI and the comparison to median. So we want to make money. We buy properties to make money, not to build homes. And let other people build, right? So I think that's the main difference. Now, once you understand that, right, the allocation of money in the right location makes sense because our resources is limited. So if you only got one shot for the next 10 years, we want to put in a location where it makes money. That's why we have this biasness towards location that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, at 1,500 ringgit price per square foot for Monkera, I'm going to hit Monkera too. I will charge Monkera too, for sure.
Wow, if 1,500. Woohoo!
I mean, I'd be quite happy lah. We own multiple units. But I will still say shit. You know, 1,500, it doesn't make sense to me. Or rental can't support 1,500. That's all. All right. So if Bukit Jalil can basically fetch average rental of 4 ringgit to 5 ringgit per square foot, then the 1,000 ringgit per square foot price point can be discussed. It becomes a realm, but today it's not there. It's nowhere near, to be honest.
Yeah, and just to point out again also, like the obvious points of discussion is also very different. Like if you are thinking about here got school, here got mall, here got highway, that one you are still looking for a home, because all those livability elements will be reflected in the rental price, which property investors reflect too. So you actually technically when you do research, right, you don't have to look into highways and malls and things like that one, because the rental is a direct reflection of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, so I think just to answer this particular question about the mindset shift, when you start looking into numbers and be very rational about decision making, right? It's very, very clear one.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
so next question. This one is from Raymond. What would you think of the impact for worship place such as temple, masjid, church, or quill will affect on property investment?
So far, if the merits of the property make sense, I've seen very little impact. So in certain places, the nearer you are to the worship place, the premium you get. For example, in certain places like Bangi or Shah Alam, right? Or or Taman, for example, right? So it's not much of a difference. If anything, you get a premium. Sebab dekat dengan masjid. Right, so I don't know, I cannot speak for the rest. As a Muslim, Malay, I can tell you in these matured areas, houses nearby masjid is even more premium. Now, I'm already like 44 this year. I also think that when I hit late 40s to early 50s, I also want to stay nearby masjid so that I can go and pray more regularly. Right? So, and I will pay a premium because at the end of the day, I made it in life, so I want to go after the next one. Right? So far. So if you look at it objectively, we bought Continue is located again next to a mosque and a temple, and still things are pretty decent too, lah. Right? The most expensive property as of today from a price per square foot point of view in the Dutamas Mont Kera area is this thing called Solaris Park. It's opposite of Masjid Wilayah. So rental is the highest in the whole of Dutamas, right? By almost 5 ringgit per square foot, right? It's even more expensive compared to RT, which is further away compared to the mosque. So far, not much impact lah. If the property is correct, so far things are okay. Now William bought again in we bought many years ago, right? It's now the highest by far rental per square foot in the whole of Kepong. Right? At almost 4 ringgit per square foot, Kepong, next to graveyard. So again, if you bought the right property at the right price point, you're going to make money, whether it's temple or masjid or, church, makes no difference. Agile Mont Kera is opposite of a church. Still 1,000 PSF. Okay.
Just clarification, those applies to high rises. If you landed sebelah Tokong, landed sebelah Kuil, then a bit more not so conducive in terms of living standards. So like in OUG, a lot of a lot of bungalow lots converted into private temples. It's a nightmare for the neighbors. Yeah.
So, but masjid is not the same,
No,
masjid
I think masjid I think you all got the right time to buat sembahyang ma. But I think my audience sent to me later, maybe I can post so just to let you read, right? Whole day talk because the monk will just chan so he talk until he want to move out already.
Wow,
so
okay.
it's also about price point. I realized that. So if your house is 400,000 to 500,000 landed house, fine lah, right? You got landed at that price. But if it's 4 to 5 million and you're staying next to a temple or whatsoever, right? Oh my god. So that I think that's the difference in expectation. But for example, like the skies just now, I don't. So if it's a temple, at least what's guaranteed is lesser density, better views, unobstructed views, and they won't move out so easily lah. But if it's an empty land, right, definitely it will be another high rise, so it will be worse for the investment. That's how I look at it lah.
I can share immediately because beyond continue, right? So I think the most because I'm from Sentul, right? So I'm from Sentul, and in this place called Bandar Baru Sentul, there's a lot of temple there.
Yes.
So the property opposite of it has still gotten pretty decent capital gains, right? So pretty decent capital gains, out of being located opposite of a temple.
Yours is temple, right? Not mosque, right? Temple, right?
Temple.
And this one only happens to Sentul. Like Sentul in 1 kilometer, right? That's the most religious buildings ever. Like in there got like 2 to 3 temples, 3 Hindu temple, 2 main church. Wow, schools, lamba. Only in Sentul, but property still okay one.
Yeah, Sentul is the keepers is one of sample.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Full of blessings around.
full of blessings. In a way, lesser goes guys. So I'm not sure. Some people say I'd rather have graveyard than temple. Some people say I'd rather have temple than graveyard. So to each of his own basically. But so far, if the product is correctly priced, and obviously you don't overpay next to a graveyard or a temple, that's for sure. As long as you don't do that and you buy at the discount, you're fine.
You overpay Bukit Jalil also cannot help you lah.
Betul? Betul? Bye, next.
Alright, so next is from Adam. If for capital buying skies and Agile, can share what is the deal that you guys get there?
I can't. We signed NDA already. Only clients will know, right? So people like Sean will know, obviously. And the team member will know and clients will know. But we have an unfair advantage when it comes to buying. That's all I can say.
All
Right? So for Agile, we bought the cheapest. For Skies, we have unfair advantage also when we buy.
Okay. Next question is from Nakib. Can share to us what is the cheapest property deals and best cash flow deals that is for capital currently buying? Share sikit, bro.
The best one we are buying is below 450,000, nearby MRT and a mall, and the cash flow will be above 1,000 ringgit per month. So that's the best one, by far.
Okay.
Right? So to say no good property below 500,000, not true. So you just don't know where to find.
All right. So next is from Arkash. Hi FR, Sean, Zakri, Albee, and William. Thank you so much for sharing tonight. I would like to seek advice from all of you as first time buying property. What will be a good start for someone like me? I earn 6K per month and thinking this year I would like to start my year with one property. Appreciate to have the feedback from you all who already experienced in this property field.
Join as member and start buying.
I think that one is the immediate shortcut But the general advice I would say is that a lot of first time home buyer normally use emotion to buy. So then you overpay because you wanted to buy, you have to stay in PJ or you have to stay in Bukit Jalil and whatnot, right? So you tend to overpay. If you have this mindset, I must stay here, right? But if you look at the flexibility from an investment point of view, whatever makes sense to me makes sense to me. Say, for example, I'm from Sentul, I guess. I own 0 property in Sentul, like 0, literally 0, right? Because for me, my job as a property owner, even for own stays, to make money out of my property, right? So I don't give 2 fucks about sentiment, right? So first time home buyer, normally the mistake they make is that they buy based on emotion. When the reality is that you have to buy below median, you have to buy things that will give you a lot of ownership options. So for example, the best property a first time home buyer can buy as of today, especially if you're not based in Klang Valley, is that you buy things whereby you can stay for free. Means you buy a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom unit, you stay in one room, you collect rental for 2 or 3 rooms, it's still enough to cover all of the installments so that you get to stay for free. So means you stay there, you get to stay for free. You get married, you have a house that you buy below market. And when you no longer need the property anymore, you get transferred or your family becomes bigger, you buy a bigger house, you got blessings in life, right? Better career. When you rent it out, you're not losing money. So these are a core property that will give you win A, win B, win C, no matter how you win. So that would be my advice. So you want to buy things that give you certain advantage in life. You want to rent, you make money. You want to sell, you make money. And your first property is super, super, super important.
Okay. Next question is from Zina. How many deals FACAP get on monthly basis? Is there any deals that is suitable for those who already at their 70% LTV with less capital needed?
We do deals when it makes sense. So some months we do, for example, like last month we did 4 deals, right? And this month we're gonna do potentially even more, around those level of deals too. And there are gonna be some month we do 0. So at the right price point, we'll buy anything, no matter which area. Okay, Jalil, Mong, Kiara, Rawang, we'll buy. Right price point, right day, we do it. Wrong price point, we don't do anything. So that's just our philosophy, right? On 70% LTV, I think our latest purchase is on 70% LTV, you get 150,000 cash. Why? We are getting 45% discount, right? So yeah, for 70% LTV, there's still hope for you to be able to go and buy things without even using any cash. Okay.
Okay, next question is, okay. Hi, Darren here. I attended your Battle Royal Singapore before and been following since. For this year, do you have deals for Singaporean? I missed out last year. Want to see there is an opportunity this year around.
Oh, we just did one last week. Right, we just did one last week. So my advice to you, quickly become a client. Because we are waiting for the right deal to happen, then only you want to become a client. By the time you sign up, gone. Right? So that's not how it works. You become a client, get yourself to be prepared. The right deal comes along after 3 months, 6 months, you buy. All right. If you're trying to be a client, the moment the deal happens, sorry, you go back to the queue. Or people who already signed up to become a client and came in a little bit, a lot more well prepared than you.
All right, moving on to the next question from Amirul Shafiq. Recently, I bought a unit in Moncara from a Chinese owner for investment. What is interesting that the unit is 10% more cheaper compared to median price. Also, when I check back, the unit number is 3A, which symbolizes bad luck in Chinese. So how much importance is the numbering for the Chinese, and does it will affect my rental rate in the future and property price?
That one I cannot answer since I bukan Gina. So go ahead, Sean, William. How important?
Don't first, oh.
I think rental wise, no. Capital
Mm.
appreciation wise, maybe. So like when I buy, if it's for rental, the tenants won't care. But if I want to exit later, then I will try to exit to an investor who only look at the number where the rent can cover their installment or positive cash flow, how much. So they won't care about the 3A also. So, but if you buy particular, again, like landed houses, that one is the worst.
Very
So,
particular.
Very particular.
Very particular.
So it's a metric between investment and own stay. So it's like how own stay you want to go and how investment you want to go. So like when the units that we buy here all investment based one, so I think it's fine. But if you buy something like 3,500 square feet at 2,000 per square feet, right? So that one is pure own stay one. You better make sure you buy 80808 Yeah. So yeah, that's my take.
I mean, let's be honest, right? You might be a Malay or Indian, you don't care about the significance of number 4, but one day if you want to sell, you want to have access to all pool of buyers. So by you buying in a way unit which is not favorable. So I would argue this way, yeah. For anything in tier 1, as long as you buy below 1 million, your number doesn't matter. Anything in tier 2, you buy below 600,000, again, your number don't fucking matter. If you buy tier 3 below 400,000, doesn't matter. Anytime you buy above that, it matters. Landed property matters a lot. All right. So you see, I'm not a believer of any feng shui ke apa ke semua tu, but I bought level 38 for a reason. I want my view, and number 2 here is that I also know that level will certainly command some level of premium if I want to sell it to a mainland China national or even a local Chinese. Right? So yeah. In Mount Kiara, for example, it matters. Because tier 1, and from the looks of it, most likely, you paid above 1 million. Okay.
Okay. Next question is from Faris. Do you think Maluri can jump to tier 1?
Yes.
Looks like it though.
Very, very rental of above 5,000 is already quite common. So there's a strong possibility it can happen. Probably about the same time Bukit Jalil moved to tier 1 too. See, I'm not biased, right? So just because I bought Maluri, I don't buy Bukit Jalil, But I think it'll be about the same time.
Okay, the only difference is one you buy tier 1 make money, one you buy tier 1 lose money.
Right? Again, let's hope I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, everyone makes money. Even, we make more money in Maluri and people Bukit Jalil also make money. That's the most ideal. If William makes 500,000 out of his Maluri and the guys in Bukit Jalil make 100,000, that's the best case scenario. We are not in the business of whereby in order for us to make, someone has to lose. I would rather we all win, to be honest. Right? That's why we are doing this in the spirit of sharing, right, Sean?
Yep.
Why the fuck we care about people stupidly go and buy expensive shit, right? Right? Otherwise, and we get hated for it, right? We get hated by the agents, we get hated by people who buy Bukit Jalil 1,000 per square foot, all suddenly don't like Sean, don't like Faizul, don't like William, don't like Zakri, don't like, Albee for reason, for no reason. What do we get out of this? Nothing. But I think it's just good to put some common sense and of course to help guide, because for some people they don't mind losing 100,000. For some people it's life and death. So
Agreed.
yeah.
Lai?
All right, next is from Sarah Lai. I visited Sky's Maluri showroom before the pre-launch. The interior material looks so only, not luxury at all. Prefer SV3 material. How much premium can we gain in terms of rental and resale value compared to a property with better material, example SV3?
I don't know whether it's gonna matter a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I bought like marble, at Farcap we are buying marble floors, right? Like marble, actual marble, right? Not marble
Marble tiles.
from China, right? So proper marble at 550 per square foot. Right? So because the developer wrongly priced and sized the product. Right? And the developer built, I guess, the same material for Pixel, and yet people are still making money. But obviously Pixel was available at a lower price point. This is at a much better location. So in all honesty, Sarah, I don't know. Right? I don't know for sure. But so far I've not met one tenant who complains about tiles.
Yep. I will add some is will you buy the next property just because it gives you marble like flooring or solid timber? I don't think so lah. Like if one property A and property B it's further away, but just because it has better spec, does it mean it's a better property? Not really, ma. And that's why this is also not so convenient. Truth is workmanship don't matter as much too. Just because a property, a lot of leakages, a lot of scratches, the paint job not very nice, right? Does it affect the rental? Not really also. Because ultimately it's about convenience first, sensibility of the locations first. Then if two is comparable, memang side by side comparable at the same price, same location, then only we look into specification. Then an argument is, do you know which specification is better? How do you determine better? Larger size, origin of materials, color, right? So there's just too many matrix or too many levels to play with. But all, I think in terms of numbers, none of it matters. That should be, yeah. Go ahead.
I think if you look at it objectively, right? Is it Sarah asking?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Sarah, if you watch our Battle Royale of Maluri, the best performing property was actually Vertica. Right? From a cash flow point of view, capital gain point of view, is the best performing one. Right? It doesn't have the best spec lah, for sure, within the unit, but it is for sure having the best facilities in the area. Right? So, in a way, I go back to my point lah. If you buy at a certain price point, workmanship doesn't matter. The quality of the tiles don't matter as much. Obviously, if you are buying a 2 million ringgit super condo in KLCC, these things matter. Right? The worst performing spec property, in a way, is Metro Kajang in Monkera. I forgot the name already. Apa nama that?
Warna putih tu.
Yeah.
Orang putih?
Warna putih.
Warna putih.
Oh, I sangka orang putih.
Yeah. I forgot the name of the property already.
Kenapa tak keluar ni?
Angkasa Puri.
No, it's a condo. It's a condo.
Oh.
Right, it's a GV Fairview, right? And
Inspirasi.
Inspirasi Monkera. Correct. Worst spec, right? Did people still make money out of it? Yeah. Still doing quite good.
Rental high.
Very high. So again, you have to know what's your positioning of your product lah. The worst thing you can buy here is that high spec, high price, low facility. From a facility point of view, is just not there. When you buy high rise, what's the most important thing? It's actually your common area.
But I think if she's already have the answer there. She said the premium on SV is much more high on the luxury things, right? Obviously today the price for SV3 is slightly higher compared to Skies, right? So then you pay for the premium lah. Apart from other things that win on Skies lah. You pay some premium on the luxury tiles and apa semua on the SV3 in comparison to Skies.
So again, it goes back, right, to why you are looking to buy, right? So would the tenant care for the spec? Because if you are looking to rent the studio unit in Skies, which we are projecting to be about 1,008, people don't really care about the quality of your tiles and furnishing, to be honest, right? And I think we give a pretty high rating for SV3, right, for own stay, just not investment. And this one is the exact opposite, right? So in fact, if you were to accumulate the points, actually the rating for SV3 is higher if you combine both the own stay plus the investment bit. Right? But if you are just looking at it purely from investment point of view, then facility matters actually significantly more compared to your, the quality of your unit, because otherwise then every other unit in that area should have done much better compared to M Vertica, but I did not.
Right, next.
Hey, by the way, I want to thank you guys for asking these questions. These are all pretty good questions, and I think you learn quite a lot more from the Q&A based on the questions being asked compared to even the original presentation. So anyway, kudos, well done. Let's go. More questions, please.
All right. So this one is from Y Pintio. Sky's Maluri is also next to a hospital. Any comment of the effect from the noise produced by the siren of the ambulance?
Very quick answer. So is SB3, SB2, V1, V2, right? All of it is near, right? So, and, still above 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So, yeah.
I think is there okay, just a common pattern among all the questions, right? Like the price needs to be low enough where things can be ignored. But on the other opposite, the price will be high enough where everything matters. Right? So just where is the line to draw? I think that's the theory that we need to establish. Like the property next to Pantai Hospital. That one for the past 10 years didn't increase price because that is the luxury condo next to a hospital. Because it's luxury enough, nobody who can afford to stay there will stay there because there are so many other options. But then in this particular area in Maluri, it's because it's the cheapest to have a space there. So a siren won't matter. So that's the, I think that's the metric to draw out again. It needs to be low enough for nothing to be mattered. Then it needs to, the price can be high enough where everything will be matter. Like the door frame also matter, door knob also matter, the lock system also matters. Yeah.
So if I were to offer maybe a very quick and dirty observation, right? Anyway, if you buy below median, you are buying below, right? What the area is currently selling for, then you can discount a lot of things. You should expect you've got the worst from a workmanship and the quality of fittings point of view. Because you are buying the cheapest. Right? And I think to answer your question, Sean, at what price point where everything matters? I think when you try to sell 30 to 50% premium versus almost everyone else, then everything matters, even your doorknob.
Well, so I'm not figuring out, is it 30 or is it 50? That's all.
I think at 30%, people will question everything. Right? So I think, for example, if you are selling in KLCC, right? One of the project today, selling in KLCC at 2,800 ringgit per square foot, right? So for that brand, even the thing that you use to push toilet, flusher though, will have to be branded because you're paying 2008.
Yep.
Right? So here we are buying KLCC at 1,005. We are still getting branded goods, but no one gives a shit if you use the local brand, right? Apa tu?
WC.
WC ke apa ke kan, Sorrento ke apa ke.
Oh, you mean the brand? Oh, I got a lot of brand. My whole brain of brand.
Yeah, but if people are paying 2008, you look at everything and people pay 1,005. Okay you can discount certain things. Not to say it has to be bad, but you can discount certain things. And I think that number is about minimum 30%. Toto, Toto, got Toto brand, not Toto the lottery, guys. Right? Lie.
Okay. Next is from Dylan. Since investment is just a numbers game, however, if personally, I wouldn't even rent the unit due to the high price or minor inconvenience like jam, temple, high tourist area or whatever, then how do you convince yourself to invest or overcome the personal preferences, asking as first-time investor?
You buy cheap enough, you can accept certain shortcomings.
I don't think that's the perception. I think it's the empathy part of it.
Hmm.
So it works two ways, right? So sometimes when you're earning 20,000, but you cannot understand why would a person rent 1,008 in Maluri, so jam, so terrible. I personally won't stay, right? But then from a person who like myself, I still cannot understand why people want to rent Mont Kiara for 6,000 a month. I cannot afford. Like, to me, I cannot live in my own unit. So we look into transacted data. Like when there's sufficient evidence showing there's this price of demand of space in the area, they will have their own reasoning. So to me, whether do you want to go and understand the reasoning better, it's entirely up to you, but we just make decisions accordingly lah. Because it's very difficult. Like last time, especially for first-time home buyers, that why would people rent 4,000? Why would people rent 500? Why would people rent 20,000? Right? It's to look into the data. So as an investor, we only want to know whether will people rent, not why. Will. I think that's the right questions to ask lah. Because because you are not willing to live next to a temple doesn't mean people who earn less than you mind the temple ma. So it comes from that point of view lah.
Okay.
I hope we answered the questions lah.
All right. Okay, next question is from Tian Yao Lim. What are the key factors driving the long-term value appreciation of Sky's Maluri, and how does the current market trend support its investment potential?
I think for products like Skies, it's very straightforward. The income you're going to get out of the property will determine the future price. So, for example, the magic number here, and I want you guys to listen carefully here, right, is that for every 500 ringgit positive cash flow you get, is comparable to a 100,000 ringgit capital gain. Why do I say that? Is because if you buy at 400,000 today and you get 500 ringgit positive cash flow, if the guy buys from you at 500,000, let's say 5 years from now, that property will still break even. A lot of people today would jump at the opportunity to own something that can give you break even. Don't need to make money, as long as I don't lose money, it's still quite okay, right? So from a product which is investment based, like the Skies, whereby we are not using emotion, right? It's all numbers investment, right? So you buy because the price is correct, and you will also sell when the price is correct, right? So I think William's hypothesis here is that he has got two things going for it, which is why he's going for Skies. And correct me if I'm wrong, William, why you go for capital gain, right? Number one, you have a property bull run happening today. The number evidence is very, very, very clear. So you got bull run happening. So bull run means the next couple of years, people will not be looking to buy property at 5% rent. Even 4%, 3% also they will buy. Because bull run means logic is out of the window. I just want to buy before things get more expensive later. Right? So one. Number two here is that his unit, he already projected, he's going to make at least 1,500 ringgit per month positive cash flow on some rental strategy. That is him being able to go and sell to the next guy at a 300,000 net profit, and the guy does not even lose money, right? So for him, it's not difficult for him to find someone who wants to buy a property which is below market and he doesn't lose money, because today 99% of sub-sales that you buy today all negative cash flow, right? William, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, betul. Ngam.
Yeah. Right? So for Skies, which is an investment-based property, it's all gonna be how much rental can you fetch. So again, for every 500 ringgit positive cash flow, it's 100,000 capital gain, conservatively, right? He's gonna get 1,500. That's why he's counting 300,000 based on today's scenario, not including a possible property bull run, which means that 300,000 then becomes 400,000 or even 500,000 because people are just irrational. There's an irrational premium similar to the last property bull run. Okay.
Okay. All right, so I think that's all the question that related for tonight. So we receive questions, but that one is for other project. So we will keep in mind and try to put that on the next session. So depending on the public session discussion. Okay, so boss, last wrap up before we finish.
Okay, first and foremost, thank you everyone for watching all the way until now. It's almost 12:45 in Malaysia. This is relatively quite early, given our past historical sessions, right? I hope it was worth your time. I hope you learned something new today. And I thought the questions were phenomenal tonight. And I think we learned quite a fair bit lah from the questions, right? So we're gonna try to do this every 2 weeks or so. Hopefully, right? If all the panelists would have the time and we can find good projects to discuss. And of course, in the meantime, right, for those who are looking to buy property below what everyone is buying, you can consider becoming part of Far Capital and join to become a Far Cap client, right? So with that, for our Chinese brothers and sisters, again, Kong Fa Choi, Chinese New Year, right? This is basically our WhatsApp group whereby we basically announce any new deal that we potentially have. So please join. It is for free anyhow. And we do announce all our future events like webinars like this or sessions like this. With that, Kong Fa Choi again. Happy New Year, everyone. And, have a great week ahead. Assalamualaikum. Good evening semua. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
I'll go book property already. Kiasu
Go, go,
yo,
go.
William, Chinese New Year also go and buy property. Walao, eh. I want to go buy now. Okay, bye bye.
I thought Chinese
wait one.
New Year is the reason why you want to buy a property for
What lah?
Kong sake, no?
Their first single different. I got family, need to give ang pao. Hey.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.